special one from the CEOs, then Spoon, and your boy, right at the Southern Band. Charges on the beat.
To the Spoon to get your information. To the Spoon to be part.
Okay, folks, it's another beautiful day across the world.
Spoon.
Here in Liberia, it's 3 minutes past 8 p.m. Today happens to be the 29th day of August. With this, we'd like to welcome you to another edition of Liberia's most informative and most followed talk show on radio and online. The Spoon Talk is back on the airwaves. We're live on Spoon TV. We're live on Fabric TV. And we're on Super TV as well. We're live on Spoon FM 107.5. You want to Fabric 101.1 FM and Super 95.5 FM as well. And of course, this is one edition of the Spoon Talk you just can't afford to miss. Get glued to your radio. Encourage someone to listen with you because the best is just right here for you. My name is Nelson Colette. I'd like to say welcome to all of you across the world, and we encourage you to share the show, especially those of you following online as you come on tonight. Let me go across and bring in Dr. Richardson, who is always here on time. Dr. Richardson, good evening.
How you doing, Nelson? How are you?
Yes, I'm doing well, and it's good to be here again. It's good to see you, Dr. Richardson.
That's good. Believe it or not, I'm multitasking. I'm cooking okra sauce, raw pama for my daughter, my youngest, my last baby. She likes okra sauce. So I'm in the middle. Y'all will see me leave to go check the soup, even though she knows how to do it.
Go check the soup.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of working from home.
Yeah, so she knows how to do it, but she's like, Mommy, I still need you to taste the seasoning to see if it's okay and if everything's cooked well. So yeah, I just finished doing that. Yeah, you're right. I stayed home today. Tomorrow I'll be going campus to do students orientation. Yesterday we had the new students come in and we had to introduce ourselves as faculty members. So today I stayed home, did psychology work. I saw, interestingly, I saw a client who is, who's from Liberia, but she was correcting my English. How you guys can correct my English? She was telling me she's from Tewa, and I kept on saying Tawa. She said, I think the Tewa, so it was really interesting, but it was good. Wow. I want to welcome our viewers today. I want to join Nelson and Diamond to welcome you to Spoon Talk. We're back on the radio. Yay! I'm happy.
Yeah.
Many of you do not have to burn your data anymore. You can just listen to us from here. It's going to be fascinating as always. So I'm going to join Nelson and Diamond. Diamond, how are you? To let you guys get the trending news.
I'm doing great, Dr. Richardson. You look splendid as always. Nelson, nothing for you. Yeah, because you only brought Dr. Richardson in. You didn't want to bring me in, so.
You see, the man is always coming in with some kind of drama.
I'm telling you, you're so creative.
Next season of Big Brabi Labira, I'll be in the house as one of the flatmates.
That's an interesting show there. I've seen just a little bit of it. I'm looking forward to seeing more of it, but that's an interesting movie.
Yeah, that's our own reality TV show we have.
Yes.
Though there has been lots of criticism about it, but it can only get better.
Well, I mean, it's you get what it is. It is what it is. It takes different parts of the culture. That's why I always tell people there's different type of people living Liberia, not just one type. So we gotta be cognizant and tolerant of that.
Yeah. Okay, so lots of things happening in the country. Damo, you want to go first?
Nelson, if you give me the privilege, I will definitely oblige to go first. But since you're the producers, it's up to you to give me that honor, and I'll definitely go first if you give me that to do.
Okay, so I think you can go.
Thank you, sir. All right, so today I'll begin my updates with an interesting story that I've been following. I've been posted on the grounds of the Temple of Justice since Monday, following the Gloria Musu Scott and three others case. But there's this interesting story that I came across. The Sapo tribe, they've sued the Central Bank of Liberia
Oh,
for, yeah, yeah, the Sapo people say they too, they belong. And you can't treat them like that. They sued the Central Bank of Liberia for omitting the Sapo tribal marks from the 1,000 Liberian dollars banknote.
oh,
So, yeah, they said why other tribal marks, will be on the $1,000 banknote, and then the Sapo tribe, what have they done, to deserve such a treatment? That
uh-huh.
you have other tribal marks on the $1,000 banknote, and then you omit you know, the Sapo tribal marks. So they're seeking declaratory judgment.
Mm.
Um, the Sapo tribe consists of 1.3 million of Liberia's population. They form 1.3%, that million, 1.3% of
Wow,
Liberia's population. So they've
wow.
said they too, they need to be represented. So that is an interesting story. We'll see how the judgment will be rendered in this particular case. The Sapo tribe spends over they are the second largest group after the Kru tribe. They span over 6 sections in Sino County, and the Central Bank of Liberia regrettably omitted the Sapo cultural marks that
Oh,
symbolizes the tribe
so,
from the
so,
1,000
Dama,
bank note.
Dama, I don't want to prolong your presentation, but on the note, I haven't seen it yet. They have other tribal marks on it, like representative.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
They got a point, man.
and they even labeled with the various tribes.
But then they got a
So
point.
yeah. So what happened now that the Sapo tribal marks, was omitted? That is the question. So they're saying, look, we can form 1.3% of the population, even if we didn't form any percentage at all, the least percentage at all. If you're representing everybody, we should be represented too. So we're
Mhm.
waiting to see how the CBR is going to respond to this, because they've said they need to be recognized as one of the 16 tribes that makes up Liberia, and the central bank will have to hear what they will say. So we'll be following up this case as well. There is to be an appearance on the 2nd of September 2023 by the Central Bank of Liberia and those from the Sapo tribe that have taken up this matter. So that's just an interesting story, I chose to share as I open up on the show today. So still with legal issues, today was trial day 2 of the former Chief Justice of the Republic of Liberia and 3 others in person of Gertrude Newton, Rebecca Yuda Wisner, and Alice Johnson. They appeared today at Criminal Court A for the second day in row. And today, basically the entire day was covered up with jury selection. They were selecting jurors. Interestingly, over 30 persons were presented to be jurors today, and only 6 were chosen out of the 30. So 24 are rejected for various reasons. Some have relationships with counselors or representing parties on this case. Some have said they've got knowledge about the case, some have said they know a certain judge. So they were asked different questions. And from the conversations we had with some seasoned judicial reporters, some of them alluded to the fact that most people don't want to be sequestrated. They don't want to be put in a basement or isolated for 42 to 84 days. So they'll come up with reasons enough not to be qualified to be a juror. So if we see all of these things, sometimes it's deliberate that people don't want to be jurors, so they come up with some reason that you can disqualify them. But only 6 persons were selected today to form the jury bench, and
Okay.
they need
The
12
12.
permanent jurors and 3 alternating jurors. So they're looking for 15 jurors in total. Dr. Richardson, were you saying something?
No, I was just wondering if it's 12 jurors that they need, and they didn't want to, nobody wants to be sequestered sometimes. I knew that trick. I did it before. So where you have to stay, yeah.
No, I didn't get your comment on your
No, I
question,
was
man.
saying I was actually the way that it works over here, you get selected, and I had to go to court. I do get paid for your time, not the minimum wage, not the payment that you make on your job. And I didn't get selected, but I deliberately put, things that I knew a little bit about the case, so I wouldn't get sequestered, which means to stay over and stay all day. And I didn't want that because I had other things to do. So I was just agreeing with you that people would do all kinds of different things not to stay and participate in the case. They don't want to be there all day or all weekend, or put in a room where they have to finally make a decision. So I was agreeing with you.
Oh, okay. Thank you, ma'am. So that is the latest development in that particular case. The case has been adjourned to Thursday, where they will continue the jury selection process. And they've gotten six, as I said. So they need six more to form the 12 permanent jurors, and they need three extra alternating jurors as well. So yes, those who will be picked as jurors on this case, based on the sensitive nature of this case and how well publicized the case is, they are going to be kept in isolation. That's what we've been told, because they don't want any interferences. Their phones and all those things will be taken from them,
Yep.
and they will be in that isolation. The legal people call it, they will be sequestered,
Yeah.
for the duration of the case. A criminal court term in Liberia is 42 days. So if this case trial hearing is going to go for 42 days or even beyond, they will have to be in the basement, of the Temple of Justice, where they will be fed, well taken care of. But the only thing, they will be isolated. Plus, they will be paid as well.
Okay.
So that those are just the updates I have to share, Dr. Richardson. That's where all of my attention has been, the Temple of Justice. And today I came into contact, one-on-one contact, with the LDA officer who allegedly shot and killed a lady in Logan Town. Today he was arraigned before the Monrovia City Court.
I remember that case.
The man didn't want his picture taken, and all of that. I'll get the entire rate and everything, and I'll share it with you guys later on during the course of the show. But today he was arraigned before the Monrovia City Court, and what I heard that the charge was to be manslaughter, but I cannot confirm that yet because I have not seen the rate of arrest. Subsequently, the indictment as well. I have not seen that, so we're working with guys to get the rate of arrest and indictment as well. But I did take a glance. I saw a glance of the murder weapon, that the picture that was taken of it, and I can tell you from the picture that I saw, it's not a Western crafted handgun. It's what we can call in Liberia the Guinea single barrel.
Oh,
It's a
yeah.
hand pistol. Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's the locally crafted one. That's what I did see from the pictures. But I'll give you more details as well once I get the information. That is the rate of arrest and the indictment as well, Dr. Richardson.
Thank you, Diamond. Get kid, the people daughter of that is sad part. Remember us talking about that case here. Yeah, Nelson, you got anything for us? Thank you, Diamond.
Oh, before Nelson comes in, one more thing. I was talking about the traffic light that was installed in Bong County, and the CEO said it wasn't significant development enough. But I was looking at it from the angle that it was a first, and we see these things coming in. We see unusual developments, especially as we get closer to elections. But a story coming from Bong County that the newly installed traffic lights, there was an
Oh,
accident that occurred right around where the newly installed traffic light is, in Bong County, Banga to be precise, an area called Far East around that. That's where it's called. But the police have said the accident was caused because the driver of the taxi cab, it was a taxi cab and a pickup truck. From the picture that I saw, the driver of the taxi cab was still, or is still, going under training. He's still a learner. He doesn't know how to drive, and then that caused the accident, rather than what people were saying or speculating in Bong County, that because the traffic light is there and the drivers are not accustomed to driving to the details of a traffic light, to the signals of a traffic light, and that is what caused the accident. But the police have said no, contrary to that. It was because one of the drivers, who is a learner, was the reason such a collation happened. A crash happened, but it's not because of the traffic light installation. So That's just
So
another
which part
story
of
that I
one
thought to share.
country, Diamond, which part of one country to put it? Like, is it where? On the
La
highway
Banga,
in
La
Banga?
Banga, where? Yeah, La Banga,
In Banga City itself.
La
Oh,
Banga is
the
yeah,
Banga getting new and improve on us quick, quick go.
yeah. So Banga broke history. Aside from Monrovia, though we only have like 3 or 4 working traffic lights. That is if we have current. But Banga now, can also boast of
But what
having
they
traffic light as well.
use satellite or I mean
Mm.
solar. I'm sorry, solar. Are they using solar panels?
The ones in Banga,
Yeah, or they're
I
using.
have I haven't seen the full makeup of those ones in Banga yet. But the ones we have here in Montserrado County, we did previously have the ones that use the solar panel. But from all of the places that I do drive along the Tottenham Boulevard, they're all broken.
Yeah,
That's a
this.
fact. The ones that are functioning, just few pieces along the JPN Freeway, the newly dedicated JPN Freeway, we do have some working traffic lights there. And again, it's by the virtue of if we have electricity in that area at that point in time. So,
Wow.
um, yes. Okay, so Joseph says it's around the presidential palace. So, yeah, around there in Far East Junction. That's where I know it to be, Far East Junction. That is where the traffic light was installed. And it was a project by a senatorial candidate, Johnny Wade. And also today, again, at the grounds of the Temple of Justice, the Supreme Court was to render a ruling. I'll follow up on our story in the case involving the former Minister of State for Presidential Affairs, Nathaniel McGill. Others took him to court on the issue of his domicile clause. On the issue of his domicile clause. And Senator Milton Tiaje is also in similar situation, and another candidate is also in similar situation. But I'll get all of the rulings once the Supreme Court have handed down those rulings, and I'll share with you guys. So, Nelson, I stop there. Yeah, I turn it over to you, Baba.
You remind me of the simple English guy. You can say I send it back to you. So
Y'all better start doing
The
something
B man
about
in the country, the B man for all that
yeah,
the president is referring to.
yeah,
it.
the beat me in the whole country.
The
On
B
reach
man in
that
the whole
point, I
country.
send it back to you.
So
So
yeah, I know that we're getting close to elections, so you better start speaking some simple English, some dialect. Somebody said we should start speaking dialect and everything here so people can know.
that one part, we gotta get people who are well seasoned, fluent enough in that though, because I'm not even sure as to whether Damo can speak any of the vernaculars, at least to talk about interpreting the news in it. But anyway, that's another one. But
But then you'd have lost the bet. You'd have lost the bet, Nelson, because you said any of the vernaculars. You didn't say any of the Liberian vernaculars. I can speak a
oh,
vernacular,
that
but it's not
tree, that
Liberian.
Ghana.
You talking
Don't
about
bring
that
that Ghanaian tree here. We eat
one?
Liberia.
You spend your early days in the poor country and you come to us.
That emergency, I knew that why the mail going. You come and
I
bring
do
Ghana thing here.
don't bluff us.
Yeah. But interestingly, Dr. Richardson has been all about elections. Today, the former president of Liberia, Madam Ellen Johnson Sirleaf, spoke at the Women's Situation Room launch today. They had a launch for the Women's Situation Room Peace Initiative ahead of the 2023 elections. So she said a lot of things, but the key word there today from the former president was Liberians going to the polls should make wise decisions. And she called on Liberians uh, to make wise decisions about the country as they go to the ballot box on October 10th. And that if Liberians fail to make wise decisions, they should be ready to face the consequences after October 10 or for the next 6 years. And I followed keenly after she made the statement indoor. On her way out, she was engaged by some media practitioners, and they were hitting her with the hard questions. And she was being quizzed as to which political party or which candidate she would like to maybe encourage Liberians to vote for, or where is she trying to throw her weight and all of that. she smartly escaped that question. She didn't answer it, and she kept on saying that Liberians should go ahead and vote. They are the ones who are feeling the pinch or enjoying the pleasant moments or whatever based on the decisions they made. So they should. It is not she, President Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. It is not for her to say, but Liberians should go about and make wise decisions and be ready to face the consequences of their decisions. So why this is happening? The Senate summoned NEC chairperson, Madam Deviator Brown Lasana, because recently there has been issues about the elections. We're moving very close to October 10. In no time, we'll be talking about just a month to the election. So there were concerns from the legislators with respect to the preparedness of the National Elections Commission. How prepared is NEC as we go to October 10? So NEC chairperson appeared today, and she disclosed that the National Elections Commission is 100% prepared for the conduct of the October 10 general elections, and NEC is 100% prepared. So when she was asked to rate the preparation, she said she cannot, or she's not in the right position to rate how prepared they are. But what she could say to the senators is that they are 100% prepared for the conduct of the elections. Now, and then on the flip side, we saw quite recently some concerns from Liberians in and out of the country about the conduct of a free, fair, and transparent elections. We saw just yesterday or so when um, about 10 political parties came together. They affixed their signature. They signed a memorandum of understanding about protecting their votes and so forth. So what happened today is that the Liberian National Bar Association um, today gave Liberians hope. The bar was assuring Liberians that they will do everything they can to ensure that there will be nothing such as rigging of election in the country, that Liberia should not be worried about the elections being rigged and so forth, that they will do everything through the legal means to ensure that the election is free, fair, and transparent, and that the bar will represent any candidate in the court if they are not satisfied with the results of the election. And so that's what came from the bar association today as well. So those are just a few I thought to throw in, because I know
That's
there's a jam-packed show coming up already, so I think
yeah.
I can stop here.
Thank you, Nelson. How was your show last night?
Oh yeah, it was good. It was good, Dr. Richardson. The late night show.
Mm,
It was good.
yeah.
Liberians, at some point it was mainly online, but now that it's on radio, Liberians are really trooping in. Yeah,
Oh wow, wow.
yeah. So
Okay,
it
I
was
will
good.
try to attend to it.
Yeah, maybe when you can, you'll win more people over to the CPP again, because
Yes, that is exactly my goal. Y'all don't let your CEO bitch. That's my goal.
uh,
Yeah, Mr. Maxwell, how are you doing today? Yes, I'm hearing a squeaky noise. Though.
I am
I think it's
well,
fantastic.
I'm very, very well, Madam Dr. Richardson. I'm very, very well. How are you
Thank you.
doing?
I'm doing great. I'm doing great. And
Nelson and Diamond, how you guys are also?
Yeah, we're doing good,
Okay,
and it's
yeah,
good to see you, sir.
I'm super. How you all smile since your political leader appeared yesterday?
I
You
tell
just
you,
totally smiling from yesterday and brought it into today.
I tell you,
Because yesterday was a domination of the airwaves. Yesterday was a
Uh,
domination. We showed Dr. Moniba showed what he's made of, and he showed what the youth is ready to do. Unfortunately, in politics, you always have to have the aha moment. We got you now, finally moment, right? So they try to get the aha moment as to squeeze it in as much as possible.
And that's why I said yesterday during the closing program, the closing time of the program, this is democracy, right? We argue to agree and we disagree to argue. So this is what it is. But the show continue and we'll keep pushing to the youth of Liberia because they know who they are, and we'll keep doing what we have to do. Today, I'm sure that we'll expand on some other things. So, Dr. Richardson, I turn the show back over to you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. It's interesting. After the show, I left before you guys because I was really tired. I had a long day already. I have
Yeah.
my two older daughters who are in the 20s. I was trying to explain what happened here. And they're like, Mommy,
Yeah.
it's politics. Did you not expect that question to come? I'm like,
Of
well, I
course.
didn't think about that. So you're right. It is
Most definitely.
politics.
But Dr. Richardson, the question, we love the question, right? Because yesterday, it opened a whole new avenue for younger people to understand in Liberia who Dr. Moniba is and what Linu can take in, right? And how we intend to promote and uphold the principles and the tenets of democracy in Liberia. We can agree to disagree, right? And the young ones that are out that are listening are now having a role model, right? Because in Liberia, you can say stuff about people and go to jail in some instances. And this is what we want to change. These are the things that Dr. Moniba has programmed his vision to change in Liberia. So it's just as easy as it is that these things are acceptable. You saw yesterday we denounced the issue of the video recording of His Excellency Joseph Newman Boakai. Even as an opposition to Boakai, I could have used that as something else. But what right is that put right there? That's a privacy issue. And so is the many other no, this personal question that were asked Dr. Moniba is a privacy issue, right? But
Yes.
we condemn that because we know how it violates, the human rights and the privacy right of the individual, all right, and that of the party leader of the party. So we are not cutting quote according to different measurements. We are cutting quote according to the measurement of Liberian people. What right is we put right there, and what wrong is we say it is.
Yes, I agree with you. For being like the only female on the show at the time, I was taken aback really by everyone's response to privacy issues. And the reason is that, like I said, we had President Tubman, who was very well known for his uh, dating other people's wife, girlfriend, whatever, had children here, there. And I'm not saying this to be demeaning of anyone's character. That is simply what I've read and the fact and stories that my family members told me. Then we had Tolbert, who wanted the age of consent. The age for children to consent to sex was 12 years old. Okay. And then, of course, we now have President Weah, who I don't know him well, but some people do say that he has some press promiscuity tendencies. I don't know that.
Mhm.
I've never seen that, so I don't want anyone to take my word for it. And then, of course, we have the issue of female genital circumcision in our country. As a psychologist, I see tons and tons of women from across Africa and India who have been significantly impacted by female genital circumcision psychologically. These women have scars on them. They don't trust people. They have problems having sex with people. Some of them, they only have had one child, and they always tell me, I'm afraid to have other babies because I think my one child, they have infertility issues. Some of them, when they went to go have the kids, doctor came and looked over them because some of the GYN and OB never saw anything like what they were saying. So they felt like specimens. So I hear tons and tons of stories. So I was really taken aback that we have these other issues, privacy issues, that we don't seem to talk about or denounce, but then we will look at other issues and make a scene of it. But so that's kind
Dr.
of what I.
Richardson, the young generation, and that's what we've always said. This is a generational fight, and because it's a generational fight, you will always have conversation from the past and people trying to hold the moral high ground and talk about such like that. First and foremost, Dr. Richardson, women are no longer properties in Liberia. Women are no longer properties in Liberia. And we believe that in the soul of our party philosophy. The independent, strong, resourceful women of Liberia are no longer property. They can make their own decision of who they married and who they refuse to be married to. You may have your marriage proposal as a man, but it's also incumbent upon the woman to accept such marriage proposal. No one can force her to be married to you. No one can force her hand to be married to you. So if the conversation is being held about marriage, why is it that it's always from the perspective of the man must get married? What about the woman must accept before the men get married? These are conversations my good brothers will not have because they don't have the depth of intellectual understanding and moralistic belief to go deeper into that. It's just from the surface. You must have a companion. The Bible says, a man who findeth a woman. The key word there is findeth, which means finding a wife is a process. And then it ends by saying it's a good thing. We've seen so many marriages broken up and divorced all over the place in Liberia. But that's not why we are here. We are here for the bread and butter issue for Liberian people. That's what matters. Tomorrow, a child has to get up and look at a mom in the face and say, Mom, I need breakfast. I'm hungry. The father has to get up and go to work. The money's about to end. He needs a salary to take care of his family.
Yes.
That's why we are here. That woman has to go to the hospital to go for her checkup because she's pregnant. And she doesn't even have the first transportation because transportation fees for Texas and Liberia has gone up. That's why we are here. We are here because the rice price in Liberia goes up and down like someone throwing lapa in the air. That's why we are here. We are here because young kids are going to school and sitting there on dirt floor and mud buildings. Dr. Moniba always have said that. That's why we are here. We are here because we're judging the constitutionality of our country and the power that we've given to an individual who has abused that power. Not his marriage, not the issue of his children. No. People fail to understand that and they want to box us in to say, aha, we got you. No, it's impossible because the Liberian issue is all of us issue and it has nothing to do with anybody talking about marriage.
Absolutely. That's what absolutely. Well, yeah, we'll see how, the conversation pans out today.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
When it comes to certain issues in Liberia, whether you like it or not, I have firm views about that. So, FGM, culture or not, it is damaging to women. Age of sexual and gender-based violence, age of consent being 12 or 13, you're still a child. I mean, I don't know how to wrap my head around letting the
As,
age of consent.
as a matter of fact, Dr. Richardson, after yesterday, Dr. Moneybar was feeling so energetic after the interview yesterday. He was feeling so proud, feeling so happy. He called me up and said, "No, Max, something came to my mind." So I said, "Doc, what did we miss something?" He said, No. I just remember the issue of customary and statutory marriage processes in Liberia.
Yes.
Why is it that the customary practice of marriage is diminished in Liberia? When I be president, I want to change that. That should be fully respected and fully given total rights as compared to statutory marriages. And I said, absolutely. Because 95% of our people get married under customary practices. And that is a traditional understanding and a traditionality of Liberia. People don't get, half of the people we have in Liberia don't get married in churches.
No, that's true.
Right.
But I like to, it's something to explore. I'll encourage, your political leader to study that.
And that is what my colleagues, when they come on the show, I expect them to think deeper because that is a bigger problem of Liberia. When you go to the Ministry of how you call it, internal affairs.
Internal affairs.
Internal affairs. There's a separation between the two. The traditionality of Liberian marriage and the customary understanding. That has to
Yes.
change. And Dr. Moniba has made a promise to himself that the moment he gets in office, he's going to start looking into that because he needs to give traditional women in Liberia, rural women, the full rights of wife. The full absolute right. Whether you leave the country or in country, you have the same right as every woman who got married in the church. That is what I
Dr.
expected
Richardson,
for people
I
to
want to
talk
come in a
about
bit
yesterday, but
on
that was
my
not an
point,
issue. Yes, please go
Yes,
ahead.
sure. Let Diamond and Nelson chime in as we wait for the rest of the panelists to come in. We're just having, some talks until our panelists come in. Go ahead, Diamond.
Yeah, so yesterday I heard Dr. Moniba say two things when he was questioned about whether he's married or not. He firstly stated that he was single. That was his first answer because I was producing, I was sitting next to him, and he said he was single. And then when he was quizzed again concerning having a partner, he then said he has had a partner for 18 years, and it's something that they both decided to keep private because of some reasons this
Did
partner
he
does
say a
not want to
partner
be in
or
a
a relationship?
in
Did
a
he say I've had a
relationship in a
partner?
relation in a
Okay.
relationship. So relationship
Relationship.
Okay.
was what he said
Yeah.
for 18 years or so, and they want to keep it private. But if you say you're single at first glance and now say you're in a relationship and you want to keep it private, why wasn't the first answer that yes, I'm in a relationship but I want to keep it private? And to disagree with Prince, if you're running for public office, your entire life is public. There is nothing
Oh,
private
no,
about that.
no. At no
Let me
point did
lay
I
my thought,
did I
please.
disagree.
Kindly let me lay my thought, sir. You were talking, we all listen to you.
Okay.
Once you in the public spotlight, everything that you do is subjected to public scrutiny. So you can have a partner and people can know who that partner is. Doesn't mean you want to bring that partner in the public all of the time. But you cannot have a partner and you keep that partner. So let's assume Dr. Monba is elected president. Is he going to keep his partner, secret if he's married or not? We want to know. That's the thing. So if you feel like certain part of your life cannot be in the public glare, then how forthcoming are you? People should be questioning you when it comes to giving us full disclosure. We respect the fact that you're not yet ready to get married. And Dr. Moniba also said he swore on his father's body that he was going to put Liberia first. So he's not prepared from his own explanation. He's now ready to give a partner, all of his attention and love and care and all of that because he wants to put Liberia first. Is that not a sign of being selfish as well?
Nope.
We understand that you want to serve the country, but if you also saying that, look, because I want to serve the country, so I do not have time for you, but you can play by my rules, then is that not being selfish? So I'm not saying you should get married or it's the issue of morality or all of that, but the fact is, if you're coming up with one story, give us that one story. That I'm not single, but I do have a relationship and I'm keeping it private. We respect that. So that's why I want to submit on that, and also want to say we live on Premium FM in Bon County, Premium 98.1 FM in Bon County. They do cover parts of Nimba and Margibi. We also live on Trust FM 88.7 in Bajaka in Bombing County. They cover Bombing, some parts of Cape Mount and some parts of Papolu County as well. So I just wanted to make those points, Dr. Richardson.
Yeah.
So this. Go ahead, Nelson. Go ahead. You have not spoken yet. Go ahead.
Okay. So there's a quick information. Okay. So Councilor Verda sent this. He says, I think it's relating to the point that Prince was making with respect to the difference between the two kinds of marriages. So he says there was a Marriage Equality Act that was passed about 4 or 5 years ago, and so that so there is that sorry, so there is no difference. So the difference doesn't apply to the two kinds of marriages anymore. And he said they are equally treated, so there is no difference any longer. I just thought to chip this in before I come in with Yeah. So
Wonderful.
I think,
I
yeah,
I think my astute big brother
yeah,
who has looked at the laws, because that was one of the issues that we all spoke about, to rectify that for every Liberian to have the equality of marriage, both
yeah.
sides, statutory or customary. On the issue of public
Let's give
scrutiny.
Nelson. Let's give Nelson a chance. I don't think he was finished. Were you finished,
Oh
Nelson?
yeah.
Okay. No, I was just trying to push that point that consider further
Oh
sent to
yeah.
me,
Five
and
years
then
ago, then that's
yeah.
good.
Yes.
Okay.
So and then with respect to the point that Diamond was just making, wherein Dr. Modobat, according to him, said that at one point he's single, and at another point he's married. Let's say he has a relationship, but decided to keep it private. Now, for me, I want to look at it two ways. The first thing is, um, in our country, except maybe if there's a law, but I have not come across that before, and I stand to be corrected on this. Uh, Once you haven't done the legal thing yet, um, despite having a partner for maybe 4 5 years up to 20 years, if you are signing onto a document or whatever, you're single until you're legally married. So for me, I want to look at it from that aspect as well, that yes, you may have a partner for as many years, but the fact that you haven't done whether the traditional or we say the European or whatever, once you've not done any of the two, you're single. And maybe we should say capital single or small single or legally single or whatever, but I think it's just single. Yeah, that's the point I wanted to push in.
Thank you very much, Diamond. Nelson. Diamond, you made a good point, and I do agree with your point. Uh, Dr. Moniba is a presidential candidate, and he must be held with public scrutiny. That's the reason why Dr. Moniba spent 2 hours on the show unfettered. There was no off limit. All questions were asked, right? No one bothered him. He answered the questions. That is the reason why you have some of the information that you have right now. And I do agree with you, Nelson. And thank you for that point. On a Liberian, whether it is traditional law, moralistic understanding, whatever the case is, if you were somebody you haven't gone to the court or you haven't done any legal procedure, by definition of law, you're still single because
Of
that
course.
that relationship is not recognized by the state, right? So when Dr. Monimba was answering the question yesterday, he was answering the question in the light of legality and a political leader, right? That's what he was telling Liberian people. I'm single. He can't come out and say, "Oh yeah, I got this," blah 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 individual. That anybody who's smart enough to say, "Really? I mean, but what is the paper? What is this? Where is that?" So it was clear, and that is the fact. I don't think he was trying to be too smart or too wiggle way. He was just being honest, and that's what we need from our leader. We need honesty. He was honest about it. Diamond. He was being honest and brutally honest about it. Dr. Monima has a handsome little son that he cares about very, very, very deeply. And we, family is a big thing in Liberia, and we all protect our family very, very much. Dr. Moniba has spoken about his son in a limited number of times. But eventually, it comes down to the point where his family values are very, very strong. Dr. Moniba has entire family respect. The question is the question that I would have expected, or at least if I was a person asking the question to Dr. Moniba, would have been, do you respect the institution of marriages in Liberia? Do you subscribe to this institution of marriage that we hold dear to our culture and our constitution? You understand? The question would have been yes. It's just that simple. If Dr. Moniba do not subscribe to the marriage culture we have in Liberia and the institution of marriage that has been set up in Liberia, then we'll all have a major problem. You understand? Then I would have
Yeah,
had a major problem with it as well.
yeah. Prince, I want to just I guess I'm not going to focus on the topic anymore. We talked about it. We give our points about it, and it's not significant to me. Unfortunately, some people might think that is important to them. What happens in people's bedroom is none of my business. It doesn't put food on the table for the people that are hungry. It doesn't put a paycheck in anybody's pocket. And a lot of times, I always see things again from an unconscious perspective. If you are so consumed about what happens in somebody else's bedroom, I have some concerns about you, about your own functionality in your own bedroom or in your own life. And that's it. But I want to say I was really excited about the 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 poise of your leader. There are times when I felt like he would have lost it. I could see it in his face, but he's still in it for his age. I know he's older and I'm older than him, but he just stayed very. He was very. I mean, it's almost like he was copying some of my playbook. So I was like to stay very quiet and calm. It's like this self talk, like just watch and see what would happen. While everybody was arguing, he didn't even participate. He just sat there and looked at us argue and stuff. And I think that's a sign, okay, maybe I may be biased, of some type of maturity, that you know how to regulate how you're going to emote or how you're going to respond to a conversation. So I like that part about him. I was watching to see, he could have lashed out at, Gibson Jeru or anybody else for that matter, but he didn't. I was
Definitely.
waiting for
No,
that.
no.
So which was good.
Uh,
Which was
the,
And
the
then
thing
and
is,
then
yeah, go ahead, please. Go ahead.
and then someone was asking a question as to whether the fiancé is a Liberian or a foreign national, and stuff like that. I think the person couldn't get through. So yeah.
Let me just say this. Um, the issue that is at hand when it comes to Liberian women is too precious, right? It's too precious. I myself, I have my family in Liberia, and I have two beautiful kids, and I'm very protective of them, right? Liberia has a abundance of beauty, intelligence, culture in our women. So when I approach a conversation with Liberian women, I approach it with care and, and serious thought. No woman from anywhere else can be compared to a Liberian woman. No woman. And I say it with conviction. And that's exactly what I was going to put it there. But before we move to that, I just want to say something that I don't say always. When I come on here to talk about everybody else that we are meeting and greeting, I usually don't greet the religious community enough. I usually don't greet the prayer people enough because there are a lot of people right now that are fasting and praying like for this election to go smoothly. And
absolutely.
and I realized that we don't put that. So it just came to my mind. So I'm just going to put it out there. Now, for all the pastors, reverends, and deacons that do come to Spoon to get their, their unbiased news and information about what's going on like there. I just want to greet each and every one of you and your congregation and say thank you for keeping the country safe from the evils of the day, because every day you pray hard and you tell our people what the direction of God for our country should be. And all those people who fast and pray every day for Liberia, so that the evil eyes and the evils and the blood that we saw for 14 years can never come to our country. We thank you again for being part of this Spoon Network and this conversation. Liberia never would have been possible without you guys. My future never would have been possible today, and many of us on this network future never would have been possible because of your prayers and your constant vigilance, spiritual vigilance of Liberia. Thank you so much, and we respect and salute every one of you.
Thank you very much. Mommy, I'd like to welcome you. It's good to see you again today. I want to just identify. I don't usually do this, but the increasingly I've been doing this. Franklin Kona Ware is here saying that yes, Franklin, I do have a doctorate degree. It took me more than 6 years to get it. So you're right for calling me Dr. Richardson. I don't know what you mean by what happens in our leaders' bedroom does affect our leaders' performances. I have no idea what you mean. That's just a generalized statement. So if I care to know, you will be clarifying that, but I don't care. Thank you. So you guys can go ahead, maybe just talk about what's on your mind. I am actually going to go check my okra sauce I'm cooking right now for my youngest baby. I'll be back. That is the role of a woman. We have to do those kind of things. So I'll be right back. Go ahead.
So you just let me at the AMU, man.
If we left their whole show, what do they?
Oh man, let's just go. What's on your mind?
I mean, a lot of things, but most importantly, I thought yesterday we did not highlight to the extent I wish we would have, we did not highlight the signing ceremony of the political parties to protect the votes. I know many times people are concerned about other people's intention and desire to quote unquote manipulate or rig the elections. The actions the political party took yesterday, I think it's a wake up call. It's an action intended to motivate and encourage voters to give them confidence that their political parties got their back, that they can go to the polls and vote and be assured that their votes will count. That no need to worry about somebody wanting to cheat. We acknowledge that there are intentions to cheat. We know people want to cheat because they're already losing, right? They realize that they can win the election. They don't want to lose power. They don't want to give up power.
Oh,
Nobody will
definitely.
give up power easily. They will even for dying to not give up power. So we know that. But the good news is most of what is happening today have never happened in our election history.
Mhm.
To see a group of political parties realizing the need to come together purposely to protect vote never happened. The sophistication that we have with technology and even human capital, people mindset, experienced people who have worked with NEC at the commissioner level, at executive director level, most of them are working with the opposition. When CDC were in opposition, they did not have the opportunity to have people who work with NEC, who manage election, to work with CDC in protecting votes. You understand me? But this time, the opposition has people who work at the highest level at NEC, working with the opposition to protect votes. People who work in operations at NEC, working with the opposition to protect vote. More than that, the opposition themselves coming down together to say,
Absolutely.
yes, we're putting our resources together, we're putting
To
our
protect the
strategy
votes.
together to protect the vote. So you can have your intentions, you can have your desire, but your intentions and your desire will be quashed right at the polling box because
But
we have competent mechanism and individual to protect the votes. So
I'm
don't
gonna
worry, listen to them talking about cheating, but just come out and vote, and your vote will be counted and your results will be secured.
let me just add to what you're just saying. That goes to show that Liberian people now understand what public trust means and how valuable it is for their future. The fact that we are now coming together to make sure that public trust is restored is very, very important. This is what the Liberian people have lost over the past 6 years in the institutions that were created to protect and increase public trust and confidence. They no longer have people are struggling on how to trust the government because they understand what the government will always do. People are struggling every minute of the day to figure out what they need so as to continuously believe in a country that they were born in, that their neighbors' train were buried in, and that their forefathers struggled to uphold at this point. Comrade Emma Stewart, welcome. So today is AME Day.
Yeah, no,
I
and
know,
all
right?
the room, AME there on the entire platform.
We're reconnected once again. How you guys doing?
I'm
Mame,
good.
Very
I'm
good.
good.
Very
Mame,
good,
what's
man.
up?
Good to see
But
you,
that,
my
but that,
man.
but that, but that's it. That's it. And we are all
Dr.
here.
Richardson, how you doing?
I'm fine. How are you? I came to ruin the AME party. I heard you guys are having AME day, so I came to ruin the party.
It's a rejuvenation of get together and fun memories.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Good. So if you're just joining us, we have Emma Swear here. He's going to be talking about his party. And we also have Mame and uh, Prince Maxwell. So you know, all of them went to AME University, so they will be biased a little bit. So I ask you, audience, to check them when they're biased. Okay. All right. So Mr. Tway, did you guys get to welcome some of our people? Let me just ask you guys quickly since I left.
Oh no,
Oh, okay. Well, if
not
time is
yet.
far, we just want to welcome everyone. Time is far spent. So let's just go into Mr. Twer. Actually, Mo Ali, welcome to the show. Thank you very much. Mr. Twer kind of just introducing himself, telling us a little bit updating us on some of the things that's happening in the party in Liberia, some of their vision for the country. And then obviously we'll begin to ask you questions.
Okay, sure. So I think my colleague, the spokesman Mo, has been doing fantastic piece of job. But I just like to pick up by saying thank you all very much for continuing to inform our people, entertaining them, and of course, giving them the necessary information when needed. I'm glad to be on again, and I want to say thanks for the invitation. The Unity Party Alliance campaign is sailing very smoothly, very much smoothly. We're glad that the rescue message is resonating with our citizens, our people, and that we're very optimistic, given the feedback and indications that we're getting from the different communities that we have visited so far. The people are poised to elect Joseph Boakai as the next president of the Republic of Liberia. The campaign is going on this kind of auto pause type of campaign that we are engaged with. As you may be aware, the vice standard bearer, Senator Jeremiah Kwankun, is currently in Nima County along with Senator Prince Johnson. They are visiting different areas. Currently, they are in Tapeta as we speak. And of course, the people of Tapeta and on the overall Nima County, they have clearly indicated their overwhelming and unwavering determination to lend support to the rescue mission. So we're very optimistic that we are going to win Tapet Nima County. As a matter of fact, we are glad today that we receive one of the biggest endorsements from one of the sons of Nima County, Representative Koga of Electoral District Number 5. So we are happy that people continue to join the rescue train, which has too many seats, and we're looking forward in a not too distant future to welcome on board Dr. Richardson and other colleagues. So we're moving on with the rescue message. Of course, in the southeastern region of our country, we have Senator James Barney, a very powerful mover and shaker in the political arena of our country, who is doing extremely well, coordinating our campaign activities in River G, in Sino, in Grand Cru, in Grand Gide, and of course Maryland County. So in Grand Gide, we have two former superintendents that are vigorously working our campaign there. Superintendent Solo, Peter Solo, who happens to be the former superintendent of Grand Gide, is the campaign manager. And of course, you have Chris Bailey, also former superintendent, is senior advisor to the campaign team and host of
leaders who also doing extremely well in the Grand GDN and other parts of the southeastern region. We have eminent citizens that are on board the train, and they're doing extremely well. And we are very optimistic that we are going to get considerable proportion of the votes in the southeastern region. Of course, in the Western Belt, the rescue message is sailing very smoothly. I know that maybe one or two of the recordings have been played on this platform where there appears to be a massive reject of the CDC government. Current that is, they visited the Western Belt, and of course, the people did not hesitate to give them the feedback about their determination to vote the rescue train. So we are doing well in that part of the country. Of course, we have the rescue ente, Senator Boto Kane in Bapolo County, the former pro tem Amazuru Jala, who is also doing fantastic piece of job over there. Of course, in Bombing, we have the former speaker, Jenica Alex Tyler, who was on your platform fortnight ago. And of course, the former senator, Senator Sandro Dazo Johnson. So all of those movers and shakers are doing a fantastic piece of job in the Western Belt. And we are, again, very optimistic that JNB and the rescue train were going to pull significant proportion of the votes from the Western Belt. In the central region of Bon County, we're doing great job. Our national campaign manager, Senator Prince Kamu Moid, is doing well. Of course, he's leading the battle in Bon County. So, and of course, in Basso, I don't have to keep telling you that. Just recently, rescue father along with rescue mother, they were in Grand Basso County. So she is trying everything she can to make sure that she has a full grip over Basso, so that we can extract the necessary and needed votes from the Basso belt. So, and of course, in Monserrado County, you've seen pictorials, you've seen videos of our people, how they are demonstrating determination to give the necessary support to Ambassador Joseph Nyuma Boaka in the rescue train. So across the different communities and districts that we have visited, we receive serious reception from our people. So far, I think we are well on course with the rescue message. And we want to be very thankful and grateful to the citizens of this country who have shown clear willingness and readiness to work with us to make sure that we reach the finish line with huge success. That's the brief summary, and I know my colleague has been providing you all some very great snapshot of the different things that we've been involved with, the successes that so far we have scored. So given the indications that we are extracting from across the different communities and districts, we're very optimistic that we are going to win this election on the first round.
Okay, thank you. Stanton, welcome to the program.
Thank you, Doctor. How you doing, guys?
I'm
How are
gonna
you, Stanton?
I'm gonna turn it over to you.
Oh, wow. You passing by Prince Maxwell and Abdullah and Mo Ali. You said, oh, I'm humble. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm a panelist. I'm not a host.
I'm humble. I mean, listen, everybody that everything here, my man. No special person that panelist. Ask Mo Ali or Prince Maxwell that brought his leader yesterday, and he stayed first with us. Welcome, Amos Twy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Stanton. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Mo,
what's up?
We had a wonderful day yesterday, a wonderful day. And he's very, very energized by the conversation, believe me.
I think you guys scored a lot of points yesterday. Just a little bit of tweaking. We got to work on that girlfriend issue, but you guys scored a lot of points. That's good.
He did well yesterday. He did well.
He did extremely well. We'll find woman for the man. It's not by fire, by force. But let's move on. Mo, why are you laughing?
Because Mumali wants to laugh.
I didn't funny how we settled our girlfriend issue. They may say he want woman you pussy.
Man, before the man go to the mansion, we're getting woman. He must take it. He cannot go to the mansion being single. Then all the little tension there will suffer. They suffering anyway on a job. We are the suffering. But let's move on. But don't get me in situation I can't handle more. I beg you.
Coming constantly again tonight.
I tell you.
Somebody give me some lecture from the Western region. He said, oh man, the job where I'm going there, he say, you push again, if you let me see them, you push again.
Mommy, are you?
And I sent you 2 videos last night from King George. You need to play it because my secretary just talked about how we will massively win Cape Mount.
I
How
mean,
George
Cape Mount
Weah is
goal.
losing ground
I
everywhere.
saw
Those
that.
2 videos, you
Actually,
need
I
to
saw
play
that
them.
more. More, I saw
No,
them
Cape
talking
Mount gone. I read it. I Cape Mount gone. Cape Mount gone. Seriously, the Western cluster gone. I can say this while I'm receiving. I beg you, Prince. I think you need to send the data over there because what I'm receiving, the whole entire Western cluster done. John Weah will never go back to that place again. And I beg you, Emma Stewart, I will not take you as a guest. I will take you as a guest panelist because we have to discuss this issue. Discuss your district, district number 15, what you bring to the table if you can win district number 15 because Abu Kamara is saying he put his life on it. He's saying that he put his life on it, you will not win. But a whole different conversation because I have people in his camp saying that they are not even worrying about you. They are not worrying about you. They say you that less of a concern because you will not win. But we have that conversation. But let me give you guys my intro real quick. While we have the guest panelists, our own Emma Stewart, the Unity Party Secretary General. I don't want to do anything funny here, but it may beat Mo Adi, and now the man is the Secretary General. I just have to throw that in.
Yeah,
I
baby,
just have
not
to
be
throw that in.
politics.
I just have to throw that in.
Cheap propaganda will not even work.
Yes.
It's very cheap. It can work in UP.
Oh, my people are laughing. That's what they like to hear about Spoon. You know, we don't play around. But Personal Weah is backing McGill. You know, he's preparing to go to McGibby. I want us to start this conversation from my end. McGill was rejected by the party. Nathaniel followed McGill. He was rejected by the party. And when they realized that the only way they can win McGibby, they must put Nathaniel McGill on the ticket. I want to ask each and every one of you the importance of McGill right now to George Manawea, that George Manawea said he cannot go on the campaign trail in McGibby except McGill go with him. They are backing McGill. Let me hear from you, Secretary General Amos Stewart. Let me hear from you. I'm backing you. Do you think McGill can deliver McGibby to George Manawea? That's what George Manawea is begging. He's begging McGill. He called McGill and said, you must be with me on this campaign. He asked Chief Editor Zanza Kawa, sorry if I'm just not pronouncing his name right. He said, I want you to bring peace between McGill and Emmanuel Nukwe. He spent a lot of money to bring those two guys together. And now they are backing McGill that George Manawea will not put forth in McGibby to go on a campaign except McGill go with him. What say you, Amos Stewart? You in Liberia. You're observing the terrain. You understand the politics involved. Let's do this cycle record. What say you? Even with McGill, can George Manawea win McGibby?
I don't think so. McGill is even struggling for himself. McGill is struggling to rest his message, to resonate his message with the people in Margibi for his own election. So he's struggling with that, and he's struggling to clarify across the different communities the sanctions and all of those different things he was involved with during the CDC administration for which he was sanctioned. He's struggling with that heavily. So McGill cannot be the one to deliver Margibi to George Weah. So if Mr. Weah is wholeheartedly depending on Nathaniel McGill, he's actually depending on a broken state. I can tell you that across Margibi County, the different indications and messages that we are extracting from our people in the plantations, even in the Kakata Belt, is becoming very difficult for the CDC government because they fail the people. The truth of the matter is that the Liberian electorates, we are becoming, we are all, I can say it. So Liberian electorates are becoming very sensible to promises and to questioning their leader on the promises that they made. That's exactly the point. And you know, Margibi is not far from Monserrado County. It's one of the centers of politics in this country. So the people over there are much more enlightened and understand the issues even better. So McGill cannot be the one that George Weah will rely on to deliver Margibi for him. It is my
Is it a safe
understanding.
thing? Real quick, I beg you. Is it a safe thing to even campaign with McGill, understanding that he's under United States sanction?
So that makes it not even safe. It makes it not even safe. But then it's a message probably that George Weah will be sending to the people that even though the
Who
U.S.
people?
government,
International people or local people? Who people?
yeah, I mean, there are two messages to the citizens in the first place that George Weah, even though McGill has been sanctioned by the United States of America, by the West, and US has made it very emphatically clear that nobody should do business with a sanctioned official like McGill, but President Weah is now begging somebody who has been sanctioned by McGill to go and run campaign for him. It shows to the international community that even President Weah himself cares less about the sanction imposed on Nathaniel McGill. The message for the locals, for the electorates, is that he, President Weah, not only that he does not believe in the rule of law, but probably that Mr. Weah himself was the key benefactor of the things that Nathaniel McGill was doing. So it is for this reason that probably he's still identifying with Nathaniel McGill. So it's on the basis of that we believe very strongly that the citizens of Margibi are not going to listen to George Weah, because the fact that George Weah has shown clear disrespect for the rule of law, don't care attitude for the sanction that has been imposed on Nathaniel McGill, and the specific mandate or position of the U.S. government that nobody should do business with such a sanctioned official, and President Weah is now engaging in doing business with
Thank
him.
you.
A
Thank you.
totally different message altogether, and it's something that the negative optics
I
falls
mean, this is
on the
very serious.
presidency.
This is very big. Thank you very much. Prince, before we get to Mo Ali, Abulai, and our own sister that Rich is saying, just take yourself, be a Liberian for once. Get all of them on. This is very important. Information reaching us. The president called McGill. They call him and said, these are our plans. We are going out there. We want you. You must come. All right. Is it helpful?
Actually,
Will
it's
that
harmful.
destroy their message? McGill in McGibby, upper McGibby, lower McGibby. But George will already have a first strike. He said McGill must be on the ticket. So McGill running as a sedition. Talk to us, Prizo. Talk to us.
Look, let's just it's clear. The president we are is pulling straws at this moment. He understands that his momentum has diminished in key areas. Let me give you a statistics. My Gibi is one of the densely youthful populated counties we have. And maintaining the CDC vote in that county was a key priority of the CDC-led government. But because of what has happened, as my colleague Amos rightly said, the issue of Maggie has changed the mindset of the youth of that country. And the youth no longer think in the terminology and the perspective of 2017. They now have seen, they have experienced, and they now understand that they need change. They need leadership change. President Weah said it on a campaign trail recently. He doesn't care. Those are not my words. Those are the words of President Weah to the voting population in Bon County recently. He doesn't care. We also know full well that President Weah doesn't care for international best practice. We know that. Amos and myself can agree on this, the fact that he's walking and shaking hands with a sanctioned individual. It is foolish for anyone to think that Liberian people do not understand what sanction means or what the youth of Liberia think of sanction. We know that. The youth of Liberia knows that very, very well. And they are in a position to make a good decision. So the idea of President Weah trying to hold hands with McGill to redeem himself in my DB County is a failed strategy, because the leadership there understand that the youth of Liberia need change, and that particular change needs to go in a completely different direction, not
Thank you.
this direction or not CDC direction.
Thank you. Let me bring in Mohammed before I get to our brother Mo Ali, because Mo is on the ground. Well, let's talk to these guys that in Liberia. Mohammed, President we are called Chief Elder Gaga, the picture is there. Call them and say, y'all got to bring peace between Miguel and Nukwe. That's Emmanuel Nukwe. The man that paid Lester Tenney to say the worst about Miguel, Emmanuel Nukwe. The man that said to Lester Tenney, we don't need this man. He have no resident in Magibi County. President we are told him, say, stop. We need Miguel. The people follow Miguel. Every corner, women, men, coming outside in support of Miguel. And President Weah said, I cannot go. His message to Miguel, except you come with me. What I tell you, Mohammed, talk to those in Magibi today.
The first thing is, Zanzan Kawa, the chief zoo, has reduced himself to an errand boy of the president. That's the first point I want to highlight. The office of the chief zoo of the Republic of Liberia is a sacred and responsible office dedicated to addressing national issues, not partisan issues. So the chief zoo has reduced himself to an errand boy of George Weah, because George Weah has created a condition where you must bow down to him or you will not survive. So, with that said, we'll come to the Maggie issue, and George Weah hope that he can get vote from Magibi County. I have never known the people of Magibi to be as ignorant as Weah thinks they are. That with everything happening to them for the last 6 years, they will go to the poll and re-elect him or elect McGill because they took money to them. In Magibi County, there are statements, similar statements we listened to in Monserrado County against Tomofala. Those statements are threading in Magibi County against McGill. The people are referring to him as ATM machines. So when he called pulling rallies and people assemble, they assemble there because they are going to their ATM machine. They're not going there because they are committed to voting an international inductee. That's the reason why they're going there. They're going there because they are aware of an ATM machine that will be distributing money to them. So we cannot use McGill to get votes in Magibi County. McGill himself, like Amos Stewart said, is struggling to get votes. He's aware of the deceit of those voters who rallying around him. They cannot be trusted.
That's not how to see it, Mommy. And I listen, though. That's not how CDC folks saying it. They cannot move further more at it, except McGill move along. But these are the folks that rejected McGill. These are the folks that told the president, said, Mr. President, we don't need McGill on the ticket, on CDC ticket. Look at Lester Tenney. He came strong against McGill. Pay for Emmanuel Nukwe. The president have to step in, Mo Ali. You heard what Lester said. That's the same McGill now the president is begging, placing a phone call to say, come with me. I beg you. I need you to take me to Upper Magibi, Lower Magibi. I need you to take me to the trenches because I want to win Magibi. Mohammed, talk to us, Mo Ali. Talk to us, please.
So I want to start off from where Mame started from. In this country, we are known, our zoos, our chiefs, our elders, to have been people who we run to in terms of confusion, trouble. And I think, I don't know whether Zanzan Kawano medicine now working and President Weah medicine is now stronger than his own. But as charismatic and powerful as Charles Taylor was, the chief elder and zoo at the time never bowed down to him. The late Chief Jalalu. He was always very straightforward with President Taylor. Today, you see, the first thing President Weah did was to suppress the whole elder and zoo thing. He gave them car, he gave them money. So the day he gave one car to Chief Zanzan Kawa, that the day he went and started talking that thing that good English, gains of car and money. So there's no more respect for that. So when something happens today, let's say in the opposition bloc, Will you ever think about running to Chief Zanzan Kawa as the chief zoo of the country or the chief elder? You can't, because he's compromised. He's now basically a political figure with the CDC moving all around the place at the behest of President Weah. Now, coming to this Magibi thing, you know, the other day I heard that McGill is beginning to get worried because the other candidates in Magibi are discussing, and they may come to a conclusion, even though they are registered, they may come to a conclusion that we will support one person in order to get McGill out. The second thing is, the politics in this country is funny. When you listen to the video I sent you last night from King George in Cape Mount, the young girl that was saying, in a campaign time, we all will come there. The same girl who was saying, so we are allowed to all, if I were in a day, myself will hold my poster and say, you promise all to King J play from King George to King George. What I promise. My man, in a country, there's something that happened today at the campaign headquarters of the UP. And I shared here. A lady that I used to know, we were neighbors. She went there in tears. She said, Mama sick. She in the hospital. And she not asking for hospital bill. Just can't pay to go see her man. A very vibrant woman. That's the extent to which President Weah has reduced the country. So, Stanton, when you go somewhere and you show some cash, especially where the people have determined that that cash is their money, they will go there. It doesn't matter who brings it. McGill there have got money that they didn't work for. So when they carry it to the people of Magibi, they will go there. As it stands, I don't believe he is going to win. I believe the people of Magibi will make a decision.
Let's talk about George Manuel Weah must go with him. He must. He's saying that he cannot go alone.
That is to tell you the poor performance of President Weah to the extent that he will be depending on Nathaniel McGill to carry him to Magibi. Whereas it should have been the other way around. When Nathaniel McGill will say, I am unsanctioned, Mr. President, I need to resurrect myself. Please, let me come under your canopy so that your blessing can wait on me. But a president begging somebody who is sanctioned by the U.S. and say, I beg you, Nathaniel McGill. As a matter of fact, what Lester Tenney said in the video is true. The CDC hierarchy did not want McGill to contest on their party ticket. He was accepted because of a threat that President Weah issued. That if you're not taking myself, will go contest as independent candidate. So for President Weah to be begging, Nathaniel McGill tells you that President Weah has become zero. This was the guy before who people just wanted, people who were contesting for legislative seat. They just wanted to say, oh, I contested President Weah party ticket or President Weah supporting me. This time around, the table has turned. It is now President Weah saying, I beg you, let me go under your canopy. So they put.
For example, before we get right?
Just few more seconds. He was testing the Western region. I will tell you
That's
this.
why I'm saying.
He was booed in the 3 counties where he lifted people's hands up. In Cape Mount, he lifted Mahmoud Soni hands up. They boo him for lifting Mahmoud Soni hand up. He did the same thing with the senatorial candidate in Bapolu. They boo him also in Bapolu. That is the reason why you will not see any video emerging from Bapolu.
But hold on 1 minute, Mo. I beg you, let me stick with Mo for 10 seconds. The day he brought up Maurice Satuma and they boo him, did you see him in Ba? Did you see Maurice Satuma behind him again? No. He cut Marissa Tuma out. He said, I am not going with you because you are bad luck and your bad luck have fell upon me. I will not run with you. I'm not going with you. And he left Marissa Tuma to where he met him. The rest of the trip in Bomi, you didn't see Marissa Tuma. It was Finda, Lasana, Edwin Snow, and the president. And everybody saw it. So at the end of the day, this person is saying that, listen, I do not want to be booed. And that's what Prince Maxwell said. If you're not Wiashen, you're not sedition.
I just got the report tonight before coming on the show. Mambu Soni has been representative for 12 years. The guy has not said a single word in the legislature. To just put and say, yes, you're hello, I'm Mambu Soni. At least you all know my name on this post. He has never done it for 12 years. When the press confronted him and say, you bobo legislature, you bobo lawmaker, you know what he told them? He said, and bobo to that citizen. So when bobo get lawmaker in the house, that bad thing, who told you bobo people can communicate? Wow. But then we are one later that one all the bullying.
Yeah, they sort of move on to Gibson. You are quite correct. Something is happening to this president. Everywhere he went, he was being booed, and that's what happened to the president. This guy was booed. He's afraid he cannot hang out with Satuma no more. It must wear. He said, listen, Satuma, Boris Satuma, I'm leaving you alone. He said, I can't hang out with you anymore. He went to Babalu, though. He went to Kepman to boo him.
It's my understanding that they're even thinking about or either supporting the other gentleman for Senate. Dottie.
Yeah, but they cannot support Dottie because Dottie said he won $100,000 from the legislature. So that whole thing killed Dottie. We got a clip, but we bring Dottie, you explain. You guys saw Dottie. He said he won $100,000. And how can you go beyond Dottie that's asking the people to give you $100,000? I can't understand that. But because you make mention
to come to
Dottie, let me just find his clip real quick. When he asked for 100,000, we're bringing our brother Gibson. Everywhere the president go, he got problem. Dottie saying that 30,000 was small. He told Prince Maxwell, he said, how dare you? I don't need 30,000. I need the people to give me 100,000. And listen.
So yeah, I have the men of our people crying every day. Let us be real. 30,000 is small. They should even give the lawmaker 100,000 now to be able to demand. The problem we have, we should elect those who are sincere, good to our people, who consider our people human beings, who have the trickle-down effect of the economic resources they benefit from what position you put them in. I'm not going to tell you I'm not going to accept it, and once you make me a senator, I'm going to accept it under the dark cloud. In fact, I'll be asking them to give me $100,000 because most of that money is going to go down to our people.
Hey man, how can you say I take back my statement? The man just said, in fact, I will be asking them to give me more. Gibson, so it must work. The president is in a bad place. We didn't even end the clip on that day because we just stopped Red Prince. We stopped a little bit, but at the end, the man said, in fact, I'm gonna ask them to give me 100,000. I'm going into this thing for money.
So he's going to the legislature to ask for 100,000.
100,000 and give it to me every month.
As salary, as pay for himself as a lawmaker.
100,000.
Why did I bring people arguing for cutting to increasing?
Telling us 30,000 that's something. I'm telling you right now, Ambassador McCarthy, I want Joe Weah to approve that bill, 100,000 to lawmakers. And Joe Weah told you, say yes. Joe Weah told daughter, say you are right. You are right. We gave you 100,000. Gibson, talk to me real quick, my brother.
Well, thank you very much, Brother Tapper. You are most welcome here. And thank you for your position as Secretary General of the Unity Party.
I'm not tapping.
Yeah, look, first of all, I want to look at the quadruple malaise that is happening in Magibi County. The first one is our people in Magibi County, for them to even flock beyond Maggie, it is a shock to me because they know that this man is not a great representation of the kind of representative or senator that they would need in the future or that they want to elect. Someone who is on the Magnitsky list, sanction list, that would not be able to travel to the United States, whose property, if anywhere found in the United States, would be seized. So is this the man that you want to go behind? So the people themselves, the decision they are making, those who are going beyond Magé, the decision they are making is an unfortunate decision. And this is why our politics is going to be the way it is, because people are making bad decisions. The second in the quadruple malaise is the chief elders and the chief Zaza. So right now, what are they doing? Are they like Mame said, are they error boys now? Are they going now to be error boys for George Weah? So they themselves, they I don't know whether they have identified the main objective why they are elders. So that's the problem for me. The third one is the fact that uh, Tenny, Dr. Tenny, who happens to be the toughest on Magay, and Nukwe, who is even, according to people, that is being funding Tenny's opposition to Magay. What are they going to do now? That now that Manukwe is now making peace with Magay, what is Tenny going to do? Is Tenny going to come back and say, you know what, the same way Dolly behaved, I withdraw my statement against Magay? Is that what he's going to do? This is bad politics in our country. The last one is, this is a pure desperation by George Weah. George Weah is so desperate to even think that Magay can be someone that he can stand with, or that can go as a front runner for, or a messenger for him to the people of McGibbon County. It is so disheartening because he's so desperate. The man is losing ground everywhere. He was booed. Everywhere he goes, he booed. They have been booing him. He goes in the market. The first time in my entire life for me to see president to go in the market and the people say, roll, roll, boo, boo, roll, roll. I've never seen that before. George Weah, who happened to be considered a popular person in Liberia, is now the most notorious person in Liberia, being booed by everybody. I don't think George Weah can even go Kema. And if he went there, they have to take a lot of people from Morovia to go and be in his audience. Otherwise, they'll boo him again. And I don't know whether this place, Lofa, is a great place for him to even go. Lofa will be worse than Margibi County. I mean, Bonny County.
Thank you very much. Let's bring our Dr. Francine, and welcome again. We'll get to call later. Dr. Francine, this thing about John Manawia, man, looking for it all over, he can't find it. Listen, this is scary. Report coming in, he begging McGill. He did Snow. He said, Snow, I cannot go to bombing. You got to leave that ECOWAS thing. Snow came and Snow set him up. Snow set Maurice Tuma up. Snow knew that people are going to boo them. He knew. Snow told somebody, my man, this thing is not good for, I'm not calling the person name. Snow called somebody. He told them, said, this thing is not looking good for us. But I will still show face. Did you listen to Snow? When he said, Mr. President, the people gave you this. And what did George Weah do for the people of Bomi County? George Weah went there and he stole the project that the Turkish government brought in, and he dedicated the project and said that George Weah project. And he allowed himself for them to put the Weah and Joa Howard Taylor a banner on the project. That's why the people continue to boo George Weah. Then at the end of the day, Snow started laughing. Dr. Richardson, this is bad for the president, though. It's terrible. You're muted.
Thank you. It seems like the president is playing one of his self-centered, deceptive behavior again. It's all about him, what he can get out of the relationship with he and McGill. That's why he's asking to to be on the tail of McGill when he has to campaign in Margibi. For 6 years, he has not done anything for the people of Margibi. So, if he would have, attended to the infrastructure needs of the people in Margibi, or attended to schools in Margibi, he didn't do that. So now, in order to stay on top of his game, he wants to use McGill, who resigned, instead of fighting for McGill when the Magnitsky Act came out. He didn't. He allowed him. He accepted his resignation. He didn't push back or say, "Okay, we're going to fight this." So now, because he wants to win and he wants CDC to win, he's saying, "Okay, McGill will be best of buddies. We'll be friends. I'm going to come there for me to campaign with you." So again, if it's not about Josh, which we know he has a history of wanting to be in the spotlight, uh, you know, consistent with his role that he played on the football team. That's where I'm getting some of my anecdotal data from. That if he's not in the spotlight, then nobody else should be. Secondly, I think like all of my colleagues have said, uh, my girl isn't in the best person to run in my gibi either. So that it's a whole other story. I don't even want to go into that. I mean, I think Liberian people make a very wrong decision to elect him because obviously he has been an ATM cash violence. He's practicing in Magibi. And also he was the person who stood there and say, well, at least I'm using the money and the people not building houses in Europe, they're building houses right here. So I don't think those sentiments are good for developing our country right now. So that's what I think about it.
Thank you very much, Cole. Welcome to the show, and let's talk about this Michael issue. Who gonna put who hand up, Cole? You've been around the block. You know how this thing work in Liberal politics. Would Joey put Maggie hand up or Maggie put Joey hand up? Your take.
Good evening to all of you. Good evening to our listeners. A special esteemed and warm welcome to the Secretary General, the Chief Strap, the pen pusher of the powerful Unity Party, the Honorable Amos Twer. I see he's off the screen, but you have my salute. And
Thank
a
you.
special
Thank you.
one for my spokesman, Mo Ali. It's good to have these powerful guys from the rescue train on. And Mame, we have missed you. It's a good thing to be here tonight. We are listening and we are following. I don't know who's going to endorse who over there in the battle to hold Mangibi. Whether we are needs, but I think we are needs to Mangia has spent a lot of money in that area. It would be a good thing for we are to go there. And it's a kind
Now,
of
let me ask you a question, and thank you for that. You brought something to my mind. We are need McGill or McGill need we are? Help the Liberian people understand
let
this.
me learn now. That's a very metropolitan area. It's not like some of the traditional counties. So Michael has spent a lot of money there. Generally the government hasn't done well. So you don't just need a famous face. You need incentives. So we are brings the new recognition. Michael brings the incentives to that campaign in Makibi. So I think if you look at it, they both go good together. But I'm not worried about them because holistically, over the term, they have not done well. What is on my mind today is this massive shift towards the Unity Party. If you are aware, you will know today that Senator John Balut snubbed the ANC and reaffirmed political ties with the Unity Party. And it is not unique to him. You are seeing this because he formally did his. And this is what happens when victory is in sight. People start to drift towards the area that is winning. Even those on the fence. Yeah, you will see more of that from the ANC, even from the CDC. We have seen a lot of that shift. The sportsmen, but due to privacy and confidence, we may not quarter some of those people because all of them did not choose to formally do it like Senator Balut. But I want our supporters to know that there has been a mass movement of people across political aisles to the Unity Party and the Boyka-led campaign. Matter of fact, I am reliably informed that Representative Samuel Koga of Nima County recently pledged his support to the rescue mission as well. Even in the CDC, I'm encouraging many more people. When this train arrives, there will be a big tent that will accommodate so many people. So come on board. Some of you can come by kind. Some of you have been calling and giving, political advice. Some of you goodwill, and we are noting these things. So I want you to know that Senator Balu is on record for re-establishing ties with the Unity Party, but he's not doing that in isolation. I'm sure our chief tribe here will tell you he's received numerous calls from people who the influx to the Unity Party as victory is in sight. Some of them want to remain private because of the jobs they do. We respect that. We respect that confidence, and we want our people to know that we're on the right trajectory. People are drifting towards number 2, and we are the prime opposition candidate. And let's come together and do this on the first round.
Thank you. This sister always go into our talking point, but that's okay. We cannot control her, so we just manage with Sister Cole. Well, keeping John Balut endorsement for last, but she brought it up. But let's bring in the guest for tonight, Emma Stewart. You can talk to us about your district. We got a lot to discuss tonight. And once you talk to us about your district, we ask you a question. Indeed, you are the Secretary General of Unity Party, so therefore we'll treat you as a guest. I was making a mistake. I thought Mo Ali stayed the Secretary General. So I will bring you in as a guest panelist, but anyway, it's you. I'm sorry for that. Let me bring you in. But before I do that, let's start with where Kohu left us.
That's a long time.
This is
Senator Balud, man.
This is John Balud. So I will say to you guys, I placed a text to him. He replied me, and I asked him. Here myself going back and forth. I'm inviting him right now as we speak, and I asked him to come and join the show. He said yes, thank you, sound good. And I asked him. I said, can you please confirm your endorsement of JMB? He said, hi, my friend. Yes, I have reinstated my membership with the Unity Party. And he said that, and I asked him. He said yes. I spent his Facebook account. Secretary General, how important is this endorsement? Now he said yes, and it's on my phone. I call him. He respect me, and I got a very high regard for him. Now he's saying yes. He have reinstated his membership to Unity Party, and his endorsement is 100%. Yeah, you are. Talk to us from your party standpoint, Emma Stewart. What a good news for you guys.
I can definitely confirm that Senator Balu and I met today in my office. In fact, I was right there when he filled the membership form of the Unity Party. We reflected on our past interactions in the Unity Party when he was referred to as the Barack Obama of Liberia. Senator Balu is a very key mover and shaker in the political landscape of our country. As a matter of fact, former senator of Maryland County, former ambassador, and someone who just before the election, the campaign could start, was really fighting to ensure that there's some form of unity in the opposition. So he's a very key influencer in the political landscape. So his endorsement and his reestablishment of membership into the Unity Party is a very good milestone, and the Unity Party cherishes that a whole lot. Senator Balu is a great fountain of knowledge. He comes on board with lots of experience. He understands the political landscape of our country very well. So we believe that his addition is going to enhance our process up to victory. So yes, I can confirm that. And, the senator is even more than prepared to participate on a couple of platforms to talk about the JNB and the rescue train. And at the same time, given his influence in the political landscape, we believe that, reestablishing membership is going to add on to us. It is a more vigor, is an impetus that has been added. So the Unity Party appreciates the fact that amongst the different presidential possibilities, he sees JNB as the person ready prepared to provide quality leadership for this country. So the UP cherishes that, and we're looking forward to
good news for you guys. Good news for Unity Party. Now let's talk about your district, because it's the reason why you're here. And then we're chipping with all the very important information. We have the passport issue coming up. I put all the documents together. The foreign ministry continue to sell passport. Once I share this information, I will give it to you guys, because it is all right now in our possession. The foreign ministry, Gray, Maxwell Kamaya, and the rest of them continue to go back to sell passport as reported. So I want to just give you guys the information, and then we can talk on it. But let's talk about your district, District 15. You're running. That district was a very hot zone for Tidia Yuri. And we know the history. We went through it. We saw it. Abu Kamara saying that he would beat you. It would take blood and sweat, but he's going to beat you in that district. Talk to us. I don't know whether Dr. Richardson asked you, but how you intend to beat Abu Kamara and the rest of the other guys in the district? You from Corway, Abu Kamara from Upper Lokentown, and that's a big district now. So you talk to us, sir.
As a matter of fact, I'm from Lokentown, actually. That's where I grew up. Where Abu Kamara lives is where I grew up, particularly Lokentown Broad Street, the Jacket community. So I'm well known in that environment, probably even more than Caldwell. So I went to school. Are
you currently in Caldwell, or are you in Lokentown?
I'm currently in Caldwell. I moved in Caldwell about a decade ago. but of course, my everything still remain in Looking Town. You understand? So, as a son of Looking Town and District 15, I believe strongly that the same way Liberia needs a rescue, Electoral District number 15 certainly needs a rescue. Abu Kamara was elected in 2019. Between 2019 up to today, the only report that you read, which is very disappointing enough, is that Abu is a miserable failure. He scored FF in all of the RX report. He's been branded or considered as a bobo lawmaker. Not only that, Abu Kamara lacks transparency, but Abu Kamara does not understand the core function and task for which he was elected to perform as a legislator. Between 2019 up to 2023, of course, 2 different times the government allocated constituency money in the tune of 60,000, 30,000 apiece. That money cannot be accounted for today. Abu cannot show you anything for that matter that he's done. The district likes, District Development Council, which is a very major platform that should be used to engender local development initiatives across the different communities. It lacks that, as a matter of fact, because Abu Kamara does not understand how to work with people. He's been unilateral in the use of public funding allocated to the district. So he's in the habit, of course, of taking churches from on their land and constructing his personal property. He cannot show any legacy between 2019 up to today in that particular district. Not only that, he's completely isolated the people of Cardwell from the district, and he's concentrated only in very few communities. And in some of the a number of communities around Looking Town, the people are also very much disappointed. So we believe it's about time for us to step up to the plate and provide that quality leadership that the people of District 15 desires. While we're pushing the rescue message very strongly in the district, we've told our people that given my proximity with His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Numa Boakai when he becomes president of Liberia, and as National Secretary General of the Unity Party, when I'm in the legislature, I'm always going to have unhindered access to His Excellency. And when we're discussing development issues, I'm always going to be there to whisper in his ear about the people of District number 15, their well-being and interests. I'm a natural advocate. So, and I have consulted with the legislature for 4 years now. I've served as a consultant for the Legislative Modernization Program. So I understand the modus operandi or operations of the national legislature, even more than Abu Kamara himself, when it comes to knowledge, experience, and character. I believe I have a better character compared to Abu Kamara. The both of us were tried and tested in the public space before, and I withstood the test of time. He failed the test of time. As a matter of fact, I know that my record in the public space is a public record. Okay, when I was when I left from government, of course, the story is told. It's in paper reports all over the place. That with the resources allocated, that will continue to go in my account or I miss the salary. Between 2015 April 8 up to December 2016, and that money accumulated almost 40,000+ United States dollars. I could have, other people chose to eat money, but of course I reported money to the government because I believe I did not work
I'm
for
sorry,
it.
Emma, if you can hear us, I'm sorry, we're having problem understanding you from the studio. Nelson, can you work on Emma's and just check on the internet? I think that's the internet, then we'll bring in the Secretary General again. But I hope you can do that, Nelson, because we're having trouble understanding SG Toy. Let me go now to Mo Ali before we get to Prince Maxwell. Mo, what you think this battle with Abu Kamara and that of Emma Toy? Talk to us.
Well, aside from the fact that Abu Kamara has access to money, government funds, aside from the fact that Abu Kamara has been in the legislature and they've all been helping to damage their constituency, I don't see any other thing that he has over Amos Stewart. And Unlike Celia, who was just from the Cardwest side of District 15, Amos is a Logantown boy as well, like he just stated. He grew up in Logantown, now resides in Cardwell. And so, if you compare the two, Abu Kamara also does not match Amos in terms of what Amos brings to the legislature. And what I think we are doing as a unity party, as a campaign team, is working overtime to ensure that Amos gets elected. I attended the opening and I even made remarks at the opening of the District 15 Unity Party office. And the reception I saw there makes me believe that Amos is likely to win Abu in that district. And there is also something, that's happening in Monserrado. Most of the, well, let me keep that. But I believe Amos is doing more work now in District 15 than Abu Kamara is doing. And maybe because these guys feel that we have money, we have access to money, so we'll just wait 2 weeks to election. I've heard them say that on several occasions. Then we'll just go and buy things, buy rice, carry money, and all those kind of things, and give loan to marketers and everything. Then they will vote for us. People always think that Liberian voters are just after money, are just after food, rice, and this and that. So you see, most of them, they just planning. We'll wait. These boys don't have money. When that time comes, we'll just go and spend the money. Amos is speaking to the minds and souls of the people. He is telling them what representation should be. Abu Kamara is not representing the people. All of us sitting here, like I said, for my own representative from Cape Mount, the district I used to vote in, I have not heard Abu Kamara say anything in the legislature. None whatsoever. He and Mahmoud Soni, I think they are competing on the Abubu aspect, the Abubu lawmaker aspect. The only time you know that there is a lawmaker called Abu Kamara, maybe when you hear they not divide some kind of money in the house there, then you hear Abu Kamara name. But to say, oh yeah, Abu Kamara stood on the floor today, he argued on behalf of his district or this and that, it's not happening. And that is the reason why we must all fight to get these people out. We need a legislature that will say, Mr. President, Madam President, you're not doing it right. This is how it should be done. That will call people when Samuel 12 go and divide and take the 25 million, put it on a head, take small A and go divide it on money to and say bring up on SSI. You need a strong legislature to tell you have to account for it. We don't have it. There's no check and balance. And people like Abu Kamara will not provide check and balance nowhere in the world.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry that we really need Amos Tua to come on the show, but again, they're making some adjustment of the internet. Prince Maxwell, I know you're waiting for Amos Tua. I know you're
Where to can internet in Kokotown, then your internet not good too.
I mean, the internet go by. And now why you want to change government for? The whole internet, LDC, Sunday, Samuel Tua say he sent it to Ivory Coast. But let's go ahead. Maxwell.
And the way LDC, everybody going back to stealing current here because we came back current.
I want to change your conversation because we got LDC people standing online and we'll talk about it later. But let's come back to Prince Maxwell. Prince O, can you ask your question now? Amos Tua is a guest. Can you squeeze in your question?
Well, it's not so much of a question. It just Amos Tua spoke about district number 15. What is amazing about District 15 is I was born in District 15. What Amos Tua did not mention in his, I'm sure he's talking about Abu Kamara. Abu Kamara is someone I grew up with very, very well. I knew what Abu Kamara was. I knew his entire family. I even knew Amos Tua from Logantown. We all went to St. Edwards together. But the point is, he didn't even mention a Francis Dixon, who is also a formidable candidate. Francis Dixon is a candidate in this District 15 election. Francis is far more popular than Amos Tua himself, and Tua knows that very well. Francis Dixon is far more popular and far more known than Abu Kamara himself. The fact is, Francis Dixon has had businesses in Logan Town since the 90s. He went to St. Edward's Catholic School, graduated from St. Edward Catholic School, attends the Catholic Church in St. Edward. So the fact that Amos Tuer comes and talked about his candidacy and don't mention this individual who is more a threat than Abu Kamara himself makes me puzzled. I think Amos Tuer need to reconsider the fact that Francis Dixon poses more threat to his candidacy than Abu. Abu seemed to have gotten that by chance. We all know the story of how Abu got into that position in the first place. From a personal perspective, you know that very, very well. But if you are competing in District 15, you should be much more worried about Francis Dixon, not Abu Kamara. That's why I would put it.
Amos, let's give you the chance to respond because a lot of people are talking about Francis Dixon too.
So I'm clear.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah,
yes.
you are. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, look, I don't. If Prince is a colleague, is a friend, but you know definitely that as a candidate, I'm here to inform our people about what we bring to the table, and insofar as I know, given the political dynamics within the district, Abu is my competitor. There are other individuals in the race. I'm not going to name people here who are going to I'm competing against compared to Abu Kamara. Abu is the incumbent lawmaker. He's the one that I want to unseat. So he is Amos Tua's target. The other people are not my target. Having said that, again, I reiterate that when it comes to character and competence and experience, Amos Tua have better character compared to the incumbent lawmaker. And everyone here, probably individuals who follow Amos and the politics in District 15, will admit to that. So the people of District 15 are looking forward to someone who bring more on the table in terms of character, that natural ability to advocate on their behalf, and somebody who understands how to navigate in the legislature to the extent that the interest and well-being of the people of that district will be placed on the front burner of decisions of the legislature. That's exactly what I'm here for, and probably we'll go into the details of some of the things I'm hoping to achieve when I have the opportunity to represent the interests of the people in the legislature. And I'm so grateful that the different communities that I have visited, whether my old community or the new communities that are popping up in District 15, the receptions are becoming very increasingly overwhelming. So I'm not going to mention other candidates here other than the individual that I'm competing against, the person that I'm hoping that the people of District 15 can work with me for us to unseat because of his miserable failure.
Thank you very much.
Still represented the interests of the people of that district.
Thank you very much. How many folks running in this race? How many? Serious manner.
Well, we are about 9. We are basically 9. District 15 is the only district that has less
registered voters. How many?
We're about 41,000 plus registered voters.
How many communities?
District 15 has about 29 plus communities.
Wow.
And again, more than 15 communities here, or 20 communities, both in the Lokintown Bell and the Kawa area. The district starts from...
Thank you very much, SG. Thank you very much. I appreciate that answer as well. And I think that we gave Prince his second question, then we'll go to Mame. Prince?
Yeah, my
can you hear us? Can you hear us?
You gone?
No.
Can you hear us?
Yes, I'm hearing you.
Okay. Fine. While they're trying to connect him back, go ahead, Prince. Ask your question. Please.
Yeah, my second concern has to do with, I do appreciate Amos' position on District 15. District 15 is a place to my heart. I would hope that Spoon TV invite the other candidates of District 15, as we have invited, in giving the respect to the Secretary General of the United Party to come and speak his mind and his policy and what he would do for District 15. I think we owe that democratic right to the other candidates that are there within the race to come forth and espouse them. On the issue of my question, I just want to ask Mr. Twell, what will he do? I know what his policy, his party's platform is as pertains to the incumbent presidency. But what will he do as an individual to protect District 15 if he wins the election from any adversary position that District 15 may be placed under?
Amos Toy, are you hearing us, sir?
Yeah, sure. I'm hearing you, so I can talk, right?
Yes, please answer. I don't know what's going on.
Prince, the first thing that I talk about when I started my conversation, the screen is off. I can still talk. The first thing I can talk about, Prince, is that the district currently lacks a district development council. Given my background in local development, that's part of my my practical education that I acquired. It is important that we first set the pace for local development for the collective participation of the people in the administration of their own affairs. So you want to establish a district.
Hey, Lord, the internet is worse. Prince, we'll hold you right there. Let's bring in Mame. Mame? Just you can just speak while we get him back, then you can ask a question. But you take about Abu and or we can move to another conversation till we get him back.
So I know Amos. Even if the Liberian People's Party that I support had a candidate in that district, I will ask him to step down and support Amos.
Seriously?
Yes.
Wait. No. Hold on right there. Because I just saw Prince might as well rolling his eyes. Prince said, what the hell are you talking about? And Gibson got mad at you just now. That's your own view, though. But seriously, Gibson and Prince, they give you that bad, dirty look. When they say give her that dirty look, that what Gibson just gave you. So I will pause you right there, even before we get to know your reason. Let's go to Gibson. Gibson, this is your brother from the Gonglo party. He's now endorsing Amos Toy. Surprisingly to us, this is big.
Well, I mean, we don't have a candidate, so he's welcome to say what he's saying. But if you have a candidate, probably the variables will change.
No, he said if even you had a candidate, he was going to ask the candidate to step down.
Why if I in the race, I know Mame cannot put me down for Amos because I have more achievement than Amos.
If you were intending to go in the race against Amos, I would beg you to not go there. So you'll not even be in the race.
Hey, I'm getting.
I don't know. I don't know.
Gibson, I
like to
let's ask Mame. Let's ask Mame why. Mame,
why are you now? First of all,
Mame, why are you now saying yes to Amos Toy? Surprisingly, why are you telling Liberians that you accept Amos Toy and you think he can represent district number 15 well?
The problem that sits before Liberia is more than a partisan problem. You listen to the former speaker.
Wow.
He sat on this radio, he sat on this platform and said when we negotiated
to make sure that our
I'm sorry,
constitutions.
Amos, can you hear us? Amos, hold on 1 minute. Can you hear us?
Are they hearing me? Are you guys hearing me, please?
You can hear us, Amos?
We connecting now.
Yes. All right, just hold on 1 minute if you can hear us because
Stanton is talking, I'm not getting him.
Yeah. Can you give me the headset?
We good?
Hello?
Am I clear?
Are you hearing me, Amos?
But I'm not getting Stanton.
All right, why they fix that? Mommy, I want you to hold that because
okay, yes. So, am I clear a bit?
You are clear, but you
No,
can't hear us.
wait, Gibson. Wait, let me talk to you. Amos, can you hear us? All right, hold on, guys. Amos, can you hear us? Amos?
He is muted.
Hold on, guys. They are connecting
Yeah,
with
I'm
me.
I'm hearing you. I'm getting you. Yes.
All right, so that wait 1 minute. Hold on, Nelson. Nelson, hold on.
Hello.
No, Amos muted that. Correct. Then let unmute Nelson Mark.
Am I clear now?
Yes, you are. Can you hear me now?
Fantastic. I'm getting you as well.
Thank you very much. I want to give Mohammed a chance to repeat what he said because you
But I
were
didn't
off.
learn though.
No,
Just
I know. I
anyway.
don't want you to land. You want to wait on this one. Let Mohammed speak, then you will come in. I'm begging you. Go ahead, Mohammed.
Okay.
Can you start over, please?
Yeah, so I said I support the Liberals People's Party. If there is a candidate for Liberals People's Party in the district it must contest, I will ask him or ask her and lobby with him and lobby with her to step down and support Amos. The reason I say so is
Thank you.
the problem that sits before Liberia is not a partisan problem. The Speaker of Liberia sat on this platform. He said, we negotiated concessions from the position of weakness. I got disappointed. A country rich in natural resources, giving out natural resources, can never negotiate from the position of weakness. If you have competent and qualified people sitting at the table, negotiating and protecting the interests of their people. Never. I know Amos. Amos and I have never aligned on political issues. I have always been different with Amos in terms of national political issues and what we agree. But I follow his track record of commitment to people's issues. He's credentialed in fighting for people. His character is uncommon in our generation. Uncommon in our generation. Amos was dismissed as deputy minister. Other people dismissed as deputy minister received their salary for more than 1 year. Other people resigned and were still living on their salary. Magay is an example, but we'll talk about later. Amos realized that, oh yes, I was dismissed, but the government continued to pay me. This money doesn't belong to me. It belongs to the Liberian people. He turned it over. That's a common commitment among young people. Ever since that happened, he has been committed to working for his people. If the people of that district really need representation, want to participate into how decisions are made for themselves, they should be looking at people like Amos who do not only have credential in decentralization and building communities, but has character, experience, and a willingness to serve his people.
Thank you very much. Wow, we got to give it back to Amos. Amos, I'm surprised. I didn't know Mommy took us by surprise. But again, talk to us.
Well, I mean, Mami, I just want to say thank you so very much for your compliments and your words of encouragement and support. You're truly a dear brother and friend. It's very true that politically we have not been aligned, but of course we've always had mutual respect for one another. And you've been a young man with enormous stupor as well. I want to acknowledge that publicly, and I want to say thank you, for your public support and your compliments. Again, as I was saying to you, Stanton, and our colleagues on this platform, it's true. Governance, why? And we're very glad that's why we're supporting Joseph Boakai, because we believe Boakai is going to lead efforts on to reset the governance button, to reorder the course of governance to the benefit of the citizens of this country. And I, as National Secretary General of Unity Party, and hopefully when I'm elected as lawmaker, part of my primary task will be to help Joseph Boakai fulfill his legislative agenda, Waka has a development concept called a RET. You understand? What can we do? What are the legislations that we need to enhance Waka's development vision? That's one of the things I'm going to be focused on. In addition to the other aspects about governance that I'm just talking about the Constitution of Liberia. Article 10 of the Liberian Constitution says that the Constitution shall be taught across school systems in this country. What is stopping that? Even though there is the teaching of civics, but of course I didn't read. I was never taught the Constitution of Liberia in detail, but Article 10 provides for that. We want to be able to make sure that the citizens' eyes are open and they are enlightened to their core responsibilities when it comes to governance on the overall. What are the roles of the citizens of this country? For example, if my set of my an individual wakes up tomorrow and say they're going to build pit latrines, maybe 10, 15 pit latrines, or they're going to do some humanitarian work. People don't know where they took those money from, the resources from to do those things. They cannot be used as a qualifying criteria for electing them in the legislature because you don't know their character, you don't know their competence, you don't know their qualification level. Their pockets might be deep. You don't know whether they sold their houses or when they took loan from the bank to come and temporarily satisfy you to buy your votes, and then you elect them. 6 months later, you begin to feel bad, you understand, for electing square pegs round hole. We want to be able to change the mindset along that line. We want to encourage our people to vote for people based on their character, based on their competence, based on their capacity to deliver on their vision. So when we go to the legislature, as I've said consistently, that we are going to help Joseph, our leader, Joseph Newman Boakai, from the legislative point to fulfill his legislative agenda, which will be collectively in the interest of the citizens of this country. There are existing legislations that require review. We are going to be on the front line. There will be concessions coming to the legislature. They require thorough review. We want to see each provision of any concession for that matter to see whether they are actually in the interest of the people of this country. So we don't believe in taking interest at all. I mean, if I may say, or short-term benefit. I believe these things, material money,
I beg you,
they are all vanity.
Allow us to squeeze in some questions. Thank you very much. And again, you said thanks to Mame for that endorsement. That's a big one. Let me bring in Mame older brother, Gibson, from the same LPP. I don't think you're going to get this from Gibson, though, but let's see.
No, you're not going to get any endorsement from me, actually, to be honest. But look, here is the thing. Brother Tua, thank you, first of all, again, for coming. And we believe that young people should take the challenge to come into this races to participate in the discourse, national discourse. I just have a few things for you to clarify. What is it that your main opponent is doing that you think you can do differently?
Jerome, I just indicated to you that my main opponent, their report from 2019 to 2020, 2021, 2022, RS report consistently said that Abu Kamara has failed the people. He's called F in all the reports. You understand? That report basically focused on legislative attendance and participation in deliberations in the legislature, in plenary. Abu has scored 0. That means he has ill-represented the people of District 15. We want to correct that. We want to make sure we go in the legislature with full vigor to participate adequately and effectively represent the interests of our people. Not only that, when it comes to transparency and accountability, Abu cannot account for the monies he has received on behalf of the people of that district. 30,000, 2 different times. The only thing Abu Kamara can show in that district, everything in the name of ADR, in his personal name, he took the church from on their land and constructed his own property against the interests of the people in that district. So everything he's doing, they're in the name of Abu Kamara. Nothing he has done in the name of the people of district number 15. We think that is absolutely wrong. So he's very egotistical. He's not a selfless leader. He's a savage leader. He has ill represented the interests of the people of that district. We want to be able to correct that and give the people adequate and effective representation at the legislature. That's one of the things
Okay.
we want to correct.
Thank you
Second,
very much. That's very
don't
good. Let me
have
ask you one more question. Let me ask you one more question. I hate to ask this
The
question because
minister won't be answering your question. You're cutting him off.
no, the man answer the question. You answer the question. That's fine. We got limited time. We got limited
We'll
time,
be
so I just
talking about
want
SC or the man want answer for you appropriately.
to. I know, Abu. Thank you, Ali. Uh, Brother Tue, I want to understand something here. I don't like to ask this question because I feel that it has limitations, but I will still ask because there are other people who may want to ask this question. Is there something that you are involved with in your community, like a little advocacy group, a little business, a little projects? What is it you're doing in your community specifically? It doesn't have to be building infrastructure, but what is it you are doing in your community that you deserve the attention of the people?
too many things, Jerome. We've done too many things. For example, when I serve as youth leader, we led the construction of a youth center located on Broad Street. Unfortunately, that place got burned in 2019. My understanding is that anyway, but it got burned. So we constructed a youth center. We also were involved with the construction of, we helped link one community to the another with bridge. We've provided assistance to
So
markets.
which community, I'm sorry to interrupt you. Not one community. We want to know specifically which community you link with
So
bridge.
I told you, looking at Broad Street, we did a bridge around the Thumbs Up area to the mayor compound. Of course, within our capacity. They say the tortoise want to climb, but the hands are short. We would have done far, far better, if we have more than one, but at least that's what our hand was able to do. We've been able to render assistance to markets and to individuals. For example, during the Ebola, as a matter of fact, I was one of the largest donors in the Cardwell Bell, providing cholera, providing different kinds of assistance. But look, Jerome, why this may be a good question, I don't think the Liberian electorates should use these kinds of temporary interventions as a criteria for electing leaders to the legislature. I don't think so. I really don't think so. I believe strongly that one of the qualifying or few key qualifying criteria that should be used as basis for electing leaders, I've just said to you, character, the person's experience, their competence, their capacity to deliver on their vision. Because I could go somewhere tomorrow and borrow money from the bank, 50,000, 75,000, and come and temporarily satisfy the people. When you elect me, the next 3 4 years, I will take those number of years to be paying back on that loan that I took for me to be elected. I could go and sell my house just for the purpose of me getting elected. And at the end of the day, when you elect me, Amos Tue or the person you elected based on selling their house or because of the temporary gain, they are going to be focused on recouping or paying back, you understand, or replenishing what they sold for the purpose of them getting elected. So Liberian electorates, we need to be able to change our mindset and the basis for taking decisions. There's some kind of way we have to adapt, some Western style of politicking. People elect people based on character, based on competence. We have been tried and tested in the public space. We have stood the test of time. I never had the plan to become lawmaker in the future, but when I was growing up, our parents or family always told us, don't eat your recess before recess time. Because like I've always said to our people in the different communities, when the recess time reaches, your friends will be eating theirs while you on the other side, lonely. In essence, look, we know the difference, we know how to distinguish between public money and private money. What belongs to me and what don't belong to me. So we have that education and that discipline,
Okay.
and I'm hoping
Thank
our
you.
people will be able to see
Okay,
reason
okay.
to
Let me
elect
Thank you
us.
very much.
let me
Thank you.
say
But
this,
we gotta
brother.
go. We gotta go to Dr.
Let me say this,
Richardson.
brother
No,
Toy.
we gotta go to Dr.
Just 1
Richardson
minute.
very
I
quick. I
wanted
know
to come
Amos.
in for just
No,
1 minute.
Gibson, stop hijacking our show, man. Please.
I'm not
Come to
hijacking the
the.
Yeah,
show. You know, I'm
Gibson
not
will not
hijacking
got
the
to
show.
talk,
You ask
man.
two questions and get the other people change. Is that how you
So,
guys
so
tell government to run the country?
you only want public relation question, or you want question for people to respond to it?
It doesn't matter, but you ask your two questions, bro.
But okay, give me 10 seconds.
All right, go
It's a
ahead.
No, my
PR
man,
question. It's a PR
your
question.
peer speaking, yeah, you
Mr.
can't
Tue,
talk.
Mr. Tue,
Yes, sir.
like I said previously, I don't like to ask that question, even though if the question has some merit in it, that when you are representing the people, you must have been involved with the people's business, because it's not any other job. It's a representation job. And one of the biggest things that you do in the House, one of the three biggest things is to represent the people. Representation is very key. And that is the basis of that question. So it is not irrelevant. While character is also
Thank you very
irrelevant,
much.
many
Thank you very
people
much,
who go
Gibson.
into the place with character who do not represent their people. And that's
Gibson,
where you're
thank
talking
you.
about now. Abu
Thank you.
Kamara. He
Thank
goes
you,
in there,
Gibson.
does
Gibson, thank you.
activities, he doesn't report back, he's not transparent. That is the problem of representation.
Thank you very much for that, Gibson. Let me bring in Dr. Richardson, and then we're gonna go to Kowu, and then more Adi will keep us on this. We gotta move to other issue. I want to ask Amos toward the General Unity Party question. We understand that he running in district number 15, but well, we have said enough about that district. Let now branch out to Unity Party and how Amos Toward think that this party will win October 10th. Dr. Richardson, your question, man.
My question relates to a general unity party question. Considering that you are the secretary, can you tell us where your stand-up bearer, Vice President Boca, is and the nature of his trip?
I think the
Wait,
our
No, I don't say
I thought
nothing.
we were
No,
talking about the man district.
yeah, we're discussing the district for now.
That's not free to ask. She said
We're
general
discussing
unity
district.
I
party.
thought that the next round we ask
Go ahead.
Unity
No,
Party.
Yeah.
that's not free to
So
ask. Go ahead,
well,
Amos. You're scared. Prince coming for you. Hey, how he stand up there yesterday.
but
Go ahead,
look,
Amos.
my very dynamic and astute comrade, our spokesperson Mo was able to effectively deal with that issue yesterday. And even today in the press conference that was conducted, he significantly dealt with it. Our standard bearer is in Ghana. Of course, he went on a strategic visit in the ECOWAS region, and the SB is going to be returning in the next 24 hours. And thereafter, we're going to continue our visitation across different districts in Montserrado County. As a matter of fact, let me inform you that Francine and the platform and our people, JNB is going to be in district number 13 on Saturday, district 2 and 13 on Saturday, and he's also going to be in my district, district 14 and district 15 on Sunday. So we want to use this occasion to call on our supporters or rescue missionaries in those districts, come out and interact with His Excellency Joseph Nyaman Boakai. So yes, he's gone for the strategic discussion in the ECOWAS region. Thank you.
Can you tell us who is he having these discussions with in the ECOWAS region? Are they leaders or are they, ministers or religious people? Can you just elaborate on that for me, please?
Interactions with friends. Some of them, of course, are religious people. Usually leaders who seek God's intervention when they're about to lead a nation. So those are things that encompass his trip. Yeah.
Can I ask one more question?
No, you got two more. Go ahead. All the opposition or unity party got 3 questions each. Go ahead.
When you want give her leeway, give her leeway. You don't have to explain. That 2 questions everybody been asking. It's
I think
okay.
the last
ahead,
question
Dr.
was not, I
Ask
think the
Dr.
last question was
Francine.
not properly answered. The last question
We'll
was
come
not
back to you,
Mr.
Gibson.
Jerome.
Gibson will come back to you. Go ahead, Dr. Richardson.
So my next question relates to your district. Can you please correct me if I'm wrong? Good, Mr. We have built the recent market in your district, the market
No,
for
that stuff was built in the Douala Bell. That's District 16.
Okay, all right. Thank you for correcting me. But you mentioned about a local development council that you wanted to establish in their district. Can you tell me the purpose and your expectations of that council? I'm not. Does your district get money from the government? Is that what you want the council to be in charge of? And can you just expand on that, please?
Thank you, Dr. Richardson. You know, part of what the Unity Party tried to establish a couple of years ago was governance based on local participation. And so the UP established the County Development Fund and Social Development Fund, and consistently annually the legislature allocated money to districts. So on the basis of that, there is a document developed by the Ministry of Internal Affairs called the Local Government Development Council or something. I just forget the entire document. That instrument calls for the establishment of a District Development Council, DDC. The District Development Council is not yet unique to my district. It should be across the different districts. That District Development Council will be responsible for local development efforts or initiatives across the Republic of Liberia. So when the government of Liberia allocates any resources, whether it is through Social Development Fund or the County Development Fund, there has to be a platform or a body responsible to decide what goes, which community gets and what. So the group of people that have responsibility to make that decision on the District Development Council. The legislator or a lawmaker only has responsibility to make sure that a proper, effective District Development Council is established based on decision by the people. Our task, given my experience from the Ministry of Internal Affairs with local government initiatives and efforts in the country, I believe it's important for us to go in that district as a lawmaker and help to re-establish local governance altogether, so that probably other districts that are lacking district development council can use our platform, can use our ideas with a unique district development council as a local government model for the Republic of Liberia. This is something that the Unity Party introduced. Unfortunately, the CDC government came and undermined it very significantly. You know that we also introduced the Local Government Act. That Local Government Act, one of the objectives, the critical objectives of that Local Government Act was to ensure at the finality that local government officials were elected, superintendents, etc. But the CDC government undermined that. So we want to reintroduce that aspect altogether, beginning with the full establishment of a district development council that will have religious leaders from Christians and Muslims, youth, women, physically challenged, different subgroups, so that they can take ownership of local development issues in the district.
Thank you very much, Secretary General Tua. We appreciate it. Let's bring in Prince Maxwell, Abulamame Mo Ali, and our
Prince asked a question again.
Don't be afraid. We're giving extra one question each. Don't be afraid, please. This is our Unity Party now.
No, I'm not afraid of course.
You can see that nobody interfering with you today, right? You see nobody interfering with you.
So when am I speaking on the issue?
Because I'm not asking irrational questions.
But that's okay, guys. Let's go back.
Let me just say. Let me just say.
Yeah, that Prince finished.
I have a very.
My man, please, just endorse the man. You see how the man has articulated.
Yeah, the man, my brother, my friend, brother.
It must and myself have had many discussions over the years. I have worked with Amos. We've been very close. We've talked. We've eaten together. We've sat together. My premise I made was, Amos, that's a community I was born in. And even as my very good friend, I'm not going to jeopardize that sovereignty. He must understand that if I was running Amos' capacity, he would say the same thing to me. He would want to be absolutely sure I can do the job. Amos' record is untainted. That's the reason why I never made mention of anything when it comes to Amos. Amos is a youth leader. That is undeniable. I cannot deny that. The stamp of approval on that. I just want to be absolutely sure that where I was born is governed by the people who say they can actually do the job. So it is. It has nothing to do with Amos' character over the years that he has worked so hard to build. It has nothing to do with who he is an individual. It has to do with what he intends to do in the future for what the community is. And that's what I'm concerned about. I don't think that's a biased perspective. I don't think that's
Thank you, Prince. Correct.
it.
Thank you.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
So we're going to bring in Cole. Cole, we're going to bring you in. Then we're going to place a call to Mr. John Balu, former senator. He want to participate. He want us to. Actually, I asked him to join us just to be clear about this JMB endorsement. We can do it now, or we can do it after you speak. I know you're
No,
not
after
asking
I
the further
speak,
question.
so that we
All right,
just
then let
close
me
up
give
this
you.
issue.
Correct. Let me give you your time. Go ahead. Then we'll bring him in.
Thank you. My my co-panelist says something special about District 15 because he was born there. There's something amazing about that district. But I'm happy that that district is about to have a new and able leadership under our current Secretary General Amos Twe. I mean Amos Twe. I could have let the night pass without a question, but I would just like to elaborate for our people who are listening. I want our people to know that Amos Twe brings in a wealth of experience when it comes to decentralization, how local government should work, and even at the community level. Who has come to us running for a representative and talk about the district development council? To say government is best, which governs least. People who want to put the state of affairs in the hands of the people they govern. That is very key. Some people, they're lawmakers, they're the only person go to the capital, they come back once a year, they talk to our people. I guess that's what Abu been doing there. But this is a man who says that the people of my district should be involved. And this is because of his background. He comes from a background where he wants to see decentralization of power, election of superintendents. And once this is done, our country will be better because, like I said, Toru will say government is best, which governs least. So District 15 will be ably represented. And I want us to know something tonight. Amos Twe, for some of you who do not know, his job at Internal Affairs, Kim Honor questioning all was undermined because he stood up to the power that be as an appointed official, knowing that he worked at the will and the pleasure of the president. When he stood up and said, listen, families of the president or people that are responsible for our state must perform accordingly. His job was undermined. So imagine when the people elect him and he has protection on the job. I think that even though I know that Ambassador Joseph Yima Boyka as president will do the right thing, but that is the kind of leader you need.
Thank you.
Or one who sees, let's just give me a chance. I don't have
Record,
four
we have
questions.
we have
1 minute. I don't have 4 questions.
Excuse me, Cole.
Let me land now, Stanton. Be
Yeah, hold on
respectful.
now.
I don't have 4 questions.
Stop.
Let me
Just
land.
listen for a minute, please. Stop fighting. We have the ambassador on. I'm reminding you for you to learn.
Yeah, I'm in flight. Let me land.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead. You get a few more seconds.
Yeah, because it throws people off. I don't have 4 questions. I just got to land on this issue. I want us to understand that when people have jobs that do not have job security because they are appointed and they can perform with distinction, those are the kind of people you take to elected offices because then they will perform even better. So thank you, Chief Strap. We support you and we know you will win that district. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Cole. Thank you. And again, we'll come back to you after the ambassador leaves the phone call. I'm not taking away your time, but I have to bring him in. And Ambassador, former Senator John Ballot, welcome to the Spoon Talk. It's good to have you. Thank you for taking our call, sir.
Well, thank you for the invitation and thank you for the opportunity to speak once again on their very prestigious show.
Thank you. A lot of folks this morning, I woke up, information reaching me this afternoon that you cast your endorsement to Jose Yimabwaka.
Well, yes, absolutely. It is pretty much like going back to my roots. I have some issues and I have left the party. And this morning, I just went over to the party headquarters I called on the Secretary General and the party chairperson. I told them I was coming over, and we just had a very simple, formality, and I just filled in the form and re-established my membership of the party. So yes, I have always endorsed Ambassador Buckeye. I have never stopped believing in him. And yes, so it's not so much of an endorsement. It is pretty much more like a re-establishment of my membership, because the endorsement has always been there.
You say you have some issue. Have those issues been resolved, or you just passing those issues to support the Unity Party?
No. That was 2010 when we had some confusion about the party and the things those were internal party things that I thought the party should have addressed it, and no, it was not addressed. Nobody has spoken to me about anything. I mean, it's more technical than anything substantive. So, and even after I had left, I was called by the party to hoist the party flag at the new party headquarters. I was given that opportunity to represent the party as the chief patron of Maryland and in the party, and I did. And I always, cooperated and collaborated in many ways. So I had pretty much been on the side, but never a distant, situation. So that let's put that aside. The point is, yes, I reestablished my party membership, and I had a very good conversation with the Secretary General this morning and the party leadership, and that we've agreed to go full blast on the work that we have before us today, and that's winning the elections.
So let me ask you, because we're going to ask you one question each. Please consider, we have the Secretary General Amos Twell on the show, the former Secretary General, the spokesperson of the rescue team, Mo Ali. We have the tag team chair lady, Comrade Cole, and the rest of the other team members on Spoon Talk. Very quick, Ambassador, you fought to see Ojose Yimabwaka and Alexander Combs' ticket. That didn't work. And now you're making a decision to go back to Unity Party. Were you disappointed, or you passed that now? You're moving on.
Oh yes, I was disappointed, and so were many other Liberians who had hoped to see the united opposition, including the people in the Unity Party and those in the ANC and the CPP and all the other parties. But so this is not the ideal situation that I hoped for. I would have preferred that we go to this election united as an opposition bloc. Okay, with all the representative candidates, sending one candidate as a representative candidate in the district, sending one senator from representing the opposition, and raise as senator candidates, and going forth and winning this election decisively first round. But that was what I hoped for. That is what we all worked towards, and it didn't happen. And the world doesn't stop because we don't get what we want or what we anticipate or hope for. Life continues. So we have to move on, such as life. We have to form part of moving this country forward, saving this country, developing this country, ensuring that there is growth and development, that there is peace, political stability, and sound leadership. These things are lacking, and we have to form part of it, making it work.
Thank you very much. Let me
break in. We didn't get what we hoped for. We have before us
Thank you.
A new opportunity with Ambassador Buckeye, and I thought we could make the most out of this opportunity.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Let me bring in the tag team chair, Lady Cole. She's going to speak to you on this. Everyone have the 1 minute. Go ahead, Cole. We have Ambassador on.
Good evening, Ambassador Balut. I'm just happy to celebrate today with you your return to the Unity Party, or you were there, but your reactivation and with the Unity Party. You're someone we always admire. We call you the Barack Obama of our times, and we are happy to see you on board. We are assured that will increase our standing in the Southeast, specifically Maryland County, where you once represented and very famous with your people there. So we're very excited to see you, and we're hoping that that cut across that some of your colleagues who are affiliates with the CPP or the ANC will see the need to secure a first round victory by putting their votes where it counts the most. Because you are aware that Ambassador Joseph Yuma Boyka is the man with the biggest political leg in the race. And I want you to know that that first round victory is still attainable once we gather our votes and cut across and come. But I want to say thank you to you for one reason, because I mean, it may appear that you are the first person officially doing this. You are the first person doing this, but this is just because of the official and public stance that you took. I'm sure the Secretary General and spokesperson can also attest that there has been a mass movement of our people towards the Unity Party. And we've always told people that despite our political differences, we're more aligned and we are different. And no political leadership will stop a mass movement of the people towards the rescue train. So I just want to thank you for coming on board, and you have that spirit to reach out to people. You touch everyone who meets you. And I know that your coming on board will bring more people, more of your likes, and more of your former constituents. So congratulations. Thank you. And we are excited. Today is a very, very exciting day for us.
Thank you, Kwawu. Thank you very much. Again, let's go to Dr. Richardson.
Well, thank you so much.
Dr. Richardson,
I appreciate it.
Dr. Richardson, you get Senator Ballard on.
I just have a comment, not a question. My comment is I just want to tell him thank you for reiterating that he's not a member of CPP or ANC, and that he is a member of Unity Party, suspended or took a break from his membership, and now he's reestablishing his root. Because I think there's a misperception that he wanted to be a member of ANC or ANC wanted him to be a member. So thank you for doing that, Senator.
Well, thank you too for understanding that.
Thank you. Let's bring in Prince Maxwell Abulai Gibson. Then we'll the Secretary General will be last, but the spokesman will come thereafter. Go ahead, Prince.
Hi, Ambassador John Balut. How do you do?
I'm fine, thank you.
Wonderful. I've always known you to be a very straightforward man, a very technical administrator and deep thinker. And to add, I've always known you to be a free thinker. So I'm going to ask you two questions, basically to give me an understanding of your mindset as it pertains to these two issues. You said that you left the Unity Party based on deep technical issues. Could you please expand on what those deep technical issues were, and have they been resolved? And lastly, what do you think about Dr. Clarence Moniba? Thank you.
Well, again, I think what has passed has passed. As much as I've had a difference with the party on that matter, it wasn't something that I had policy-wise. There's no real difference I had with Unity Party. It was just the fact that I had expressed interest of contesting the elections in Maryland, and I had written the party and gotten support from within. And then last minute, I'm hearing about a consensus being built outside of the framework document. That was not official. That was a consensus being built. And I think there was no time put in to explain that, to reach out to us, to in building some compromise. And then again, like I said, these things happen. It happened, and that's behind us. I'm not, going to make issues of it. We have a greater stake ahead of us, and we have to focus on it. What is before us is greater than one of us personal interest or ego. And you just need to look at the little children in this country. You just need to look at the elderly, the vulnerable ones, and you need to put aside our differences and focus on what we have in common. The common yearning to make things better for those the least to our society and for all of us as well. Now, that, like I said, that's behind us. I've never had any issue with Ambassador Boyka. Neither did I have any issue with the party outside of that technicality that I had already engaged in the party elections and things like that. So it's something different. Nothing substantive, significant enough to cause a forever conflict between the party and myself. Having said that, What do I think about Dr. Moniba? I think he's one of the finest in the race. I think he's a young man who represents hope. He has a chance. He has a place in the society. He, like many other young people, have a place in the society. It's good to see them surfacing because their place, his place, as well as many others, are quite secure in the future of this country. The political future, like many of you on the platform there today. Ambassador Walker and the likes of Ellen Johnson Sirleaf or the Topa Nantipote and the rest, they are the last of the old order. They are here to show us the path so that we can take after them, more better prepared to do greater things. So yes, he represents one of the good forces in this place. And at some point, we have to draw a divide. You have to know the sheep from the goats. And in this country today, I can tell you, there are a lot of positive forces that remain aligned, and it's a strong negative force that we all have to focus against. So if you ask my opinion, I think he's a great guy. It's just not his time, and I think Ambassador Walker has what it takes. He has the mandate, he has the experience, he has the knowledge, he has the expertise, he has the know-how, he has the familiarity of the political space and the political actors. He has the international connections. He has all of these things. He has been there. He has participated in all of this. And he has something that most of us don't have, a strong determination of trying to set things right before they exit the stage. And I think he deserves that opportunity. And we need to work around him together and form that team that can make it a reality.
Wow. Oh, Ambassador, thank you. Let me bring in Mame. Thank you very much. And we hope we can have you in studio one of these days. Mame, please.
I want to reserve my time to speak on the Amos Stewart issue, so I can pass over to another person.
Thank you, Abula. Gibson?
Balu, how you doing there?
I'm fine, thank you.
Okay, Senator Balu, I'm going to put two ads. I had three, but I will make it two. Just before the CPP broke apart, you were one of those who was calling for the reunification of Boakai and Cummins. At the time, there seems to be a support from the CPP for your candidacy, especially from the internal Unity Party. And then I realized that the CPP veered away from you, and I believe it was Eric Jaco that they put their support behind. And then you came up with a statement and reported in the Nigerian newspaper WAP.com. Alexander Cummins is not qualified to be president. And in this story, this is what you said, quote, you said Alexander B. Cummins is not qualified to be president. John Balu, former senator of Maryland, says presidency in Liberia is not about foreign jobs and having money. My question is, you wanted a unity of Boakai and Cummins, which seems to be that you were reconciliatory. Your characterization of a presidency in Liberia, that if you work in foreign jobs, like Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did and became president, are you saying Cummins is not also qualified if you work foreign jobs? Is that your analysis?
Thank you, Gibson.
Well, first thing first, I never made such statement, and I'm just hearing it for the first time. And if it ever existed in any news media as news, you can consider it as fake news. I'm not fake. I don't pretend. I don't hide. I don't shy away from what I have to say. I maintain Alexander Cummins is the cream of our society, as well as Ambassador Walker is the cream of our society. Alexander Cummins is someone I hold in very high esteem. In fact, before I went to the Unity Party office, I gave him a call to remind him of my own respect and admiration I have for him. And unfortunately, they did not go the way I wanted it, and how I had committed myself to working with Ambassador Walker, making it a reality and helping him move the team forward, especially so when he represents a positive force that I believe can change the country for the better. So, no, I never at any time said that Mr. Cummins is not qualified. In fact, he's very qualified. So as many other people in the race, you have people like Tyrone Gonglo, you have people like Moniba, you have people like other people that who you mentioned earlier, and they are all very qualified people. These people belong together. The positive forces of moving this country forward. So I'm sorry but I have to make it clear I never made such statement. And Mr. Cummings enjoys my full recognition and respect.
I really do appreciate your clarification. My last question here, I have three, but I'll do two. I want you to tell me, Senator Balu, your leading Unity Party was on deep technical basis, and then you think that it was the fact that you were disappointed. You thought you were already having the support for the internal leadership, and then you were let down. What make you think that that disappointment, the events that led to that disappointment, are now erased?
Well, such is politics. You don't get always what you want. If you can't stand the heat, get out of the kitchen. If you're going to be thin-skinned, then you can't be in politics. So people like us have been there, done that. We have the experience. We work with it. That's why we are still here, because we have a greater calling than our own self-infliction. A greater calling that's the well-being of the population of this country and the common interest of our country. And we have to develop also. Our citizens need to grow. They need to look better as well. You go around the world, you see how things are. Some of you in the States, that you know how life is on our side. Forget about that. Go other countries in Africa, see how things are moving. What's wrong with us? We're not idiots here. We're just sitting on the fence and allowing bad governance to break down the population, make them incompetent, make them beggars, and then we're all struggling to feed and run after people who've stolen after our resources and gave it back to us piecemeal. We have to give each other a better future. And that's what some of us stand for in this country. That's what we stand for, to work despite the odds, despite the disappointment. We still have to keep moving forward. And that's what this is all about. I believe in Ambassador Walker. I believe in the Unity Party. I believe in the rescue team. I believe in the combination of the forces that are working together right now to effect this change in this country. And I'm absolutely certain, with all of us working in harmony like we're doing now, it's going to happen. And we're going to transform this country without any bullets.
The voice of the former Senator John A. Balu Jr. We want to say thank you. We'll bring Imbo Ali, the spokesperson, and the Secretary General, Amos Stewart, will take you home tonight. Real quick, I got to squeeze this in, Ambassador former Senator John. Real quick, please. Did I hear you saying that you spoke with, or you called Mr. Cummings today to inform him of your decision? Can you please clarify what I heard?
Yes, I actually called to have a meeting with him, and he had informed me he was coming as a guest speaker, I think, at the university there. And so he suggested that we could talk on the phone or probably just reschedule. So we talked.
Oh, okay.
On the phone, and expressed my regret that I would not follow him there.
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Go ahead, please.
Nevertheless, he just confirmed that I had a conversation with him. I should put him better prepared at this time to move the country forward.
Thank you very much. Let me bring you now to the rescue spokesperson, Mo Ali. Mo?
Well, firstly, I got two thank you messages. Let me say welcome back to Senator John Balu, and thank you for coming in at this crucial time. The second is to Ambula Mame. Like Amos said, we've not always agreed on politics, particularly in the past, but in recent time, in the past few months, Ambula and I have compared notes on many things. We agree on many things. We also have similar vision on where Liberia should be. It's only that on the presidential level at this time, we have different sides, and I can say, just yesterday, we and Councillor Gongo were all together cracking jokes at the signing ceremony of the document there, where opposition parties are, have agreed to collaborate on protecting the truth. So I want to say, on behalf of the Unity Party campaign, thank you to Ambula Mame for endorsing our Secretary General as lead candidate for District 15. And Amos, the SG of the UP, has articulated it very well why he is and why he should be. And I heard my friend Prince say, let's bring the other candidate. School talk is a big place. Maybe we should begin to organize some debate for some of these candidates, and let's pit our candidates against other candidates. Maybe we can invite Abu Kamara and the other candidate to pit them against our SG and see who has
Can
the
we? Can we?
experience.
I'm sorry, Mo. Can we let go of Ambassador John? And I know you run that real quick. We'll come back to you because
Oh yeah,
this is going to be
yeah.
flowing in and out.
I don't have a
Thank you
question.
very much, Ambassador, former Senator John. About it, we want to say thank you for joining us. And I know I will call you because you have to come in person in studio or probably from your home that we can have a good conversation. Thank you for taking the Spoon Talk call tonight, and we appreciate you, sir. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm most humbled by that, and greetings to all of you. Good night. Thank you so much.
Good night. Right. We want to say thanks to the ambassador. Amos, you with us. I believe I cannot go through my other programs with the passport issue. We have all that. We cannot talk about George Manawia and those that he bring in, especially one Bambi, Osman Bamba. This guy, we really needed to talk about him tonight. Personally, we are bringing him here to the United States again. For the
We
fact
are
that
always involved with
uh,
some kind of
for
influence,
the
some
fact
kind of
that
drama, some kind of scandal.
yeah, we got to really talk about this guy. But I want to say thanks to all of you. Now the brother have to run to Bible study, or else I will not survive tonight. Dr. Richardson, please take back your show. Emma Sweat, it's good seeing you. I
Especially,
know.
I put the article in the chat room. The article that mentioned Balu
So
saying
I'm
that.
gonna do it. I deleted it. You that
What?
problem too much. Yeah, you that
The
problem
person
too
I
much.
don't
The
have
message
it.
out here, then you say, Prince, the message out here. Then you still won't put it in
They
chat room.
mentioned the thing are fake news.
The thing are fake news. I deleted
No,
that thing, man.
anybody can say fake news. Anybody
My
can say
man,
fake
okay,
news.
my man,
No,
my call is newspaper agency, man.
but Jason, I believe too it is a fake news because from day one, Ambassador Baru has always talked about Joseph Boakai and
I mean, let
community
me go
ticket.
again. I want to say we're
One
gonna
of
be
those
bringing.
that
I beg you more. Let me end this real quick, Mo. But let me end this. Let me Casey alone. Casey is a problem. Oh, we're gonna be bringing
It's
in.
not a problem.
We're gonna bring in
I'm
the
being very
former.
journalistic here.
We're gonna be bringing in the former finance minister, Boima Kamara. He will be our guest. We want to say Boima Kamara went through a lot of stuff. What the government is doing to him, we got to discuss it. And his family. When I received the news today, I ended up reaching out to him. The government personally wrote the American government on something bad. And this is terrible. So we'll be bringing him on tomorrow. But Mike Kamara will be our guest. They are asking the American government to send the man back home, he and his family. What the good heaven?
Wait, the Liberian government is asking for extradition of Bama
Yes.
Kamara and his family.
Yes. Can you imagine
that?
that?
For what?
There's no treaty between Liberia and
My man, wait, enjoy the story.
Have they
I think
charged
you
for
guys will
anything
see.
before they will ask
The
for
Liberian
extradition?
government,
Let's conclude with the SCBA.
and I would say let's finish the one up because it must what this is Spoon Talk, you will enjoy it. But it's shocking to me that George Manuel we are sees not only to desist from this foolishness. You're chasing everybody everywhere. It's not helping you. Let me play this video before I go. Hey, Gamet, just wait for me 1 minute, Gamet. I beg you, we'll go to Bible study. But let me play this video very quick. This is Emma Sasa laughing. Remember, when the Bible study come on Tuesday, I can be so confused. I love my Spoon Talk. Man, that's the one. I won't play the one of the.
The person start down. He would have put 12.
Why are you always playing this liar in front of us, man?
No, I was here lie that this the one.
This
guys,
national liar. Why are you always playing him?
Yeah, I beg you. That's why I took you off. I beg you, Prince, forgive me. But this is what I want to play, Amos. And I want you to address it, Amos. When the president traveled to the western portion, I think that was in Buffalo, right? And they booed the president. They decided to bring the representative. The guy didn't say, "You don't bring him." They will boo the president told them, say, "You don't put that man up." The same thing he did with Morris Satuma, right? Just watch this. Hey, I lost Spoon Talk. Watch this.
Candidate for Benton County on the CDC ticket, Honorable Mamou Sone. Okay, the Grand Mount County Superintendent Honorable Aaron Vincent.
Joey, I said the booming, y'all don't bring the man again. The man is on the CDC ticket. Joey, I had to be booed. They did it to Setuma. The man refused to try with Setuma. He cut Setuma loose.
I told you from the beginning of the show. Hello, Stanton. I told you from the beginning of the show, the first play they presented Mahmoud Soni, they booed them. So the other one, Joey, I said they were not carrying there.
Joey, I said, I'm bring the man. Joey said, no way, don't bring the man up on there. How disgraceful it is. The president been rejected, and the president still trying. And I guarantee you, maybe if he go with my gay again, I don't know what will happen because my gay is my man. But it's scary, Amos. Listen to that. The people came to the man. The president said, don't bring that man up. I want folks to watch this. The Joey we know, hey man.
Excuse me, CEO. I thought you were taking leave. I wanted to tell Dr. Richardson and the rest of the panel that I have a parent-teacher pre-conference tonight, so I will beg to leave. And
the baby going to school already?
Yeah.
The man going to be a bookman.
I wish you have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you, Cole. Well, the man tend to be a bookman now. That's good. But Mo Ali, on a very serious note, listen to this. They came rushing to the guy. They said, don't call him. The president said, don't call the man up. They will boo us. But that Richardson take a show. Hey man, I gotta go to Richardson. It must thank you.
That video from King George. That video from King George. That play it.
Which one? The one? This one? That's one?
Yeah,
no,
play that video.
This video I just put up?
Yeah, play it.
Okay. All right. I don't know what they're picking that call today. What they cutting it for? Yeah, they cut it though. Let me play this one.
Leave it on there. Maris. Yeah, he won't come, sir.
Mr. President, why is the premier from King George to King George? Yeah.
And what happened? They get saying that in the internet. Seriously? Did I hear her right?
This girl
she said that in the day she will be holding a placard. They said that she made he go there.
Yeah,
she said that in the town. But I see that video
Richardson, thank you very much. Amos, I talk to you. Dr. Richardson, please take the show. Thank you very much.
Let's move to closing.
I mean, my business, but I don't want to leave. I don't leave, but I have to leave. My business.
Let's move to closing. Let's give the Secretary General Amos the opportunity to make his parting comments, and then we all can do ours.
No, I actually waived my time to speak to that man because I had comment to make further. So maybe I can make, based on your approval, I can make that comment then before we can make closing comments.
Sure, mommy, go ahead.
So I was still talking on the Amos Square issue. You listening to him summarize an entire decentralization plan with the intention to devolve power to people. It's just part of the reason why we're calling young people across the country, old people, men and women. The problem we have as a country will only be solved with people like Amos representing you at the table. So I just wanted to send that call out to people. The character, the commitment we see in Amos It may be 10% of what we see in Councillor Gonglo is the reason why we support Councillor Gonglo. So when we see people like Emma emerging and sprouting out with such commitment to people and service, we take it as our responsibility to support them. On Abu Emma, let me remind you, maybe you don't know about this. After Ada Lawrence died, may peace be to his ashes, Abu was elected and placed on the Committee on Natural Resources on Oil and Gas. Begin the chairman on oil and gas. Mo Ali knows about this. He and I work on it together to release press releases, and Senator Dillon had to get involved. It was Abu Kamara who introduced the bill to transfer the 5% equity right in every petroleum agreement from the citizen fund to individuals. That law is available. I will share it with you. It was Abu Kamara who sponsored the bill to transfer the 5% equity right in every petroleum agreement that was designated for a citizen fund that will benefit all Liberians, and transfer it to individuals who have quote-unquote oil companies, and thereby allowing the government to select 7 companies in Liberia they consider to be oil companies, including the company owned by Musa Berete's son. Mo Ali and I work on press releases, issue statements together, Facebook posts. It took Senator Darius Dillon, Senator Jonathan Bocha Segwe to raise that issue on the floor of the Senate. They called a public hearing. I presented on that public hearing from here in America. Experts came before that law was reversed. Abu Kamara, I just wanted you to know that.
Thank you, comrade. Thank you. I look forward to seeing that.
Thank you for that information. Secretary Twelve, you want to give your parting comments now, if that's okay with everybody?
Yeah, sure. So again, I just want to say thanks to Stanton and the Spoon FM family, to all of you, Dr. Richardson, Jerome, of course, Prince, my dear brother and friend, Mame. Thank you so very much for your beautiful compliments and your support. I am looking forward to also learning from you a whole lot. I must say to you that you're one of the young men with stupor in this country, and we've learned from you in a number of ways. You're very great, stellar research that you do, and so on. They've helped us a lot. So I just want to say thanks, and I'm looking forward to partnering with you. I hope that in the very near future we can all be on one side, in politics, so that we can continue to help reorder the course of governance to the benefit of our people in this country. And of course, I want to say thanks to my dear comrade, one of the leaders of the Unity Party, the spokesman of our great campaign, Comrade Mo Ali. Thank you for your comments, and I'm also looking forward to your guidance and direction as we all sail smoothly to make sure that the rescue message resonates well with the citizens of this country. Again, this is an opportunity for our people in District 15, as we will be rescuing Liberia and installing a responsible leadership headed by JNB. We're looking forward to working with you as your lawmaker in that district, so that we can work along with Joseph Boakai, His Excellency, to fulfill his development vision in the interest of the people of this country, while we're there working with you to make sure that some of the critical things that you're lacking, your frustration and disappointment in the current lawmaker, with our presence, I'm quite sure you're going to forget about them. And you can be assured that in us, you will have a very strong voice in the legislature. You will have a relentless individual advocating in your interest. So on the overall, again, the rescue mission is resonating with our people. We are very sure and optimistic that Joseph Boakai and Senator Jeremiah Kwankun are going to be elected president and vice president of the Republic of Liberia. Their development concept, encapsulated in arrest, will be implemented in the interest of our citizens, of the people of this country. And as National Secretary General, our task will be to continue to give the necessary support when required. The Unity Party appreciates all of those who continue to lend support to the follow of the rescue mission. And we're very positive that Liberia, the governance system of this country, is going to be reordered with Joseph Boakai leading, the providing leadership And of course, in the very near future, Dr. Richardson, we also look forward to working with you. I know politically we don't agree, but of course you are a librarian. You have some expertise, some knowledge that our country can benefit from. Joseph Boaka is looking forward to establish a platform that allows for the participation of every librarian in the administration of their own affairs. And of course, you are not an exception. So regardless of the political differences, we believe that you can get lots of contribution to make in the development of our country. Thank you so very much. I'm looking forward to come back here again and probably continue to speak about why JNB should be elected as president. And maybe when he is elected, then we can now talk about governance. Thank you, and God bless the people of District 15 and the Republic of Liberia. God bless the rescue mission. Thank you.
Amos, I have a question that is not related before we move on. I'm hearing an interesting accent. Do you care to share your accent to us? I get this question asked to me all the time, so it's a good time for me to ask somebody else.
Well, so the truth is that I have read and I've went to school, in 3 different areas. Of course,
Okay,
in the
that's
UK.
okay. That's good. That's good enough.
And then not only that, but growing up as university student, sometimes you adapt a different way of talking and so on. So that's just who I
That's good
am.
enough. That's good enough. I was just hearing the way that you're pronouncing certain words. It was just, I get my students ask me this question all the time, so don't feel bad. As soon as I walk in the class, like you're not from here, you're from Liberia, right? Well, they don't say that I'm from Liberia. They ask me where am I from, but anyway, thank you for joining us. It was good to have you. I wish you the best in your political journey. So hopefully you come back again to Spoon. But so we'll continue the show now by just everybody making their closing comments.
Okay.
Then we'll more since you're in Liberia, you won't go next.
Yeah,
Or you
definitely. First, let me say thank you to our Secretary General for the presentation. I like to say in the legislature, any president who wants to work, I'm not sure that president will want all yes sir or yes ma'am in the legislature. And I was about to say also, even the talk show that we sit on, the reason why we feel sometimes excited, even in our anger to come on, is because you have somebody who is challenging your thoughts, somebody who is making you to think. It's not all rosy. What it does for your own development is that it makes you to think critically. It makes you to do more research. And sometimes we're getting say some of the things that I can go sit down and just be reading and researching. You can't deal with him or Prince, but it is good for us. And I also know that when you're sitting on the show, people like Mamede, you gotta go read. Mamede reminded me tonight about that work he did, the research he put into it, and the vigor with which he led that advocacy, and we all follow him. If he had not done that, for example, we would have probably some noise around again that, some kind of oil block was gone, or some kind of oil deal has been struck, and all those kind of things. And so, judging from that example, in as much as we all may not be supporting the same presidential candidates, but it tells me that we all should put Liberia at the table first. Because yesterday when we met at that signing ceremony, everybody was there. And there was one comment that resonated with everyone. Let us make sure that this document that we are signing, we implement it. Because this one is not about who from the opposition will win. But if we don't do it and they cheat us, forget it. You can provide all of the pieces of evidence to that Supreme Court. At the end of the day, they tell you, yeah, they were cheating, but they were not sufficient cheating to overturn the result. You will live with the nightmare for the next 6 years. And I am one who believes all of the top candidates in the opposition are 100% better off than what we have. That is the reason why I am committed. If there were a second round, and it is not us, any of the top candidates, nobody will have to campaign to me. I will begin my campaign right there on my own with my own resources. So I'd like to say thank you. We should always remember that if the country is bad off, we all suffer. If it is better, we all enjoy. Because even you get more money, the beginning will make you get broke, the people who didn't get it. Thank you.
Thank you, Marley. Should we go to Mr. Jiru next?
Thank you very much. First and foremost, the LPP or Gonglo supporters have no candidate in District 15. Therefore, I don't think there's any reason for anybody from the LPP or the Gonglo support line to go against Mr. Toy. I don't even know all the candidates. The last time Taylor Ure went against Abu Kamara, some of you who follow my podcast, I said I was supporting Taylor Ure, but I knew that Abu was going to win. And my prediction went well because of the variables that was available. So, and when people come on this show, you know, the only unfortunate thing on this show I can admit is we all are here on partisan level. If we are here on independent panel level, we are going to ask specific questions. When you are going for the position of president, there's nothing private about you. In fact, it is an insult for anybody who's going for presidency to say that you have a private line or you have a privacy. That is so disgusting for people who are supposed to know better to say that the person has a privacy. It's a privacy issue. That is the limitation of their understanding of the thing they are doing. For some of us who have been this thing for a long time, and we learn how to do it, we know that there's no privacy in any public office. Nobody, you go for public office, you got no privacy. Even us on this platform, our privacy is seized because of our public engagement. People can check us, even the way we treat our wives at home, they can talk about it outside. That's why on this, when the people make comment about us on this line, some of us don't comment back, some of them don't bother them because they have the right to say it. Why? They call that a Richardson name. She don't go there insulting them. She don't go there disrespecting them. She's a public figure. But a lot of buffoons in our midst, they think that when you raise issue about public engagement, people who are public officials, then you think you are trying to be disrespectful. And this is disgusting. And some of the people are not even supposed to be on the same platform with them.
Huh?
I'm not supposed to be on the same platform with some of the people who think the way they think. So here is the thing. And I want to say very clearly here, this election season will pass.
The man here, possible tonight again, man.
I cried, man.
But then the tear boy, when he finished talking, then you be laughing.
I cried you that man.
No,
Yeah, go ahead.
why are you making me laugh? No,
Go ahead.
There is no response to it.
the problem we have in our community, Dr. Richardson, the problem we have in our community is that people who don't know what they are doing, they always come and spew garbage against people. Let me just say this one and for all. If this election is over, I told somebody the other day, I said the biggest challenge of this platform will be for George Weah to lose or for JMB to win. Because if JMB wins, this platform, the way it is hard like this, if we are not transformative immediately to be independent, it's going to dwindle. If George Weah wins, this platform will be the hardest platform in Liberia. And this is because of my understanding of media issue. So the greatest challenge we have is if we're going to be here after election, is to transform ourselves immediately in the independent mode to be able to ask a relevant question. So I got nothing against Twed. As a matter of fact, I wouldn't know Twed because he was involved with small stuff. I don't know him personally. I don't know him in depth. I just read a few things about him. I don't have anything against the brother, okay? And I don't even know who are the candidates in our 9 candidates in our district. But definitely, I would want somebody who is very engaging, someone who is competent, who raise issues about the community. It is very, very important for us to support the kind of people. So I just wanted to say this in the future, and those who are writing comment, who are listening to us, we don't care. I don't care about you. I don't even see you. I don't care whether you exist. You are the least of my imagination. So you can write all you want to write. The other
Just let respect our viewers, yeah. Let them keep it. Hey, say we want respect them. They got piracy. We got piracy. So thank you very
I
much.
mean, back then. But listen, they say some things that are very, I can say silly because look, we come here. I have a lot of things to do, right? We come here and spend 3-4 hours. That sacrifice we put in here. I didn't come here because if I want to be praising everybody here, then I just start praising everybody. As soon as they talk about come here, I say, oh yeah, come here is good. They were Boy, oh, Boy is the best. They talk about oh, Gonglo is the best. Then that's what I should be doing here. But they brought me here for me to be a panelist, and panelist I will be. And I will be critical. I don't care who doesn't like it. And I will ask the question that the public out there they want to ask. To ask a presidential candidate, are you a gay? It's a legitimate question. You need to respond to it. Because the people out there are asking this question. Only a buffoon will not think that this is a good question. And he came here to insult us yesterday. But we respect him. He was our guest, and we'll leave it just like that.
Thank you
you.
very much. Thank you.
Hey,
Mom,
Gibson. Yeah, let me come in so
yeah,
Prince
Mama,
can,
please come, yeah.
yeah, so Prince can have the time to exhaust, absorb everything and prepare well, because I know it will be fiery. But my closing comment is this: I've been thinking about, business people, coming to politics, want to take leadership. There's no strict jacket measurement to just conclude that being a businessman doesn't make you good to be a good politician. But one thing people need to know is the consummate businessman understands two things: profit and loss. On his balance sheet, 2 lines balance sheet: profit, loss. People who are committed to institutional reforms, people who are committed to transforming lives through public policies and action, their balance sheet, that triple line balance sheet: profit, loss, and people. So sometimes they take loss for the sake of people. Sometimes they waive profit for the sake of people. They not only profit and loss. So when you see business people say, oh, I'm a businessman, I'm an independent businessman, I go to the legislature, I go become president, I'm a businessman. We need to be careful, because businessman is a businessman. Businesswoman is a businesswoman. Their orientation is profit and loss. People who are committed in transforming lives through policies and action, their balance sheet get triple line: profit, loss, and people. They can waive profit for people. They can take loss for people. Lastly, our laws in Liberia will need to be realistic with them. And the reason why I'm saying this is I got credible information, and the United Party people can clarify. I got credible information that the political party of President of Nigeria, Tinubu, had made contribution to Vice President Joseph Boakar's campaign. Receiving money from international foreign sources is a violation of our election laws. But almost all political parties are doing it, and we don't have the mechanism to control it. There are laws on our book, except Councillor Gonglo, that I know of. He will even tell you, say that person who said they're contributing 1,000, you know where they get that money from? That the extent to which he's rigid with who contribute to his campaign. But because we have a law that we cannot abide by, we don't have the mechanism to control, we don't have the mechanism to supervise. We need to be thinking about how can we adjust our laws such that we are able to abide by them. No need to just have laws on the book that you cannot abide by and nobody can control. The National Election Commission say you must submit your budget. Your budget should not exceed certain amount. Nobody submitting budget. Nobody regulating it. So why don't we adjust? Like the information I received today, that Tinubu has contributed to Vice President Baka campaign. It's a violation of our elections law. The United Party people can speak to that, but that's the information I have, and I trust my
Yeah, I
source.
can speak to that. I can speak to that very, very quickly and in just one sentence. In just one sentence. As a matter of fact, Vice President Baka has no friendship with Tinubu. Absolutely not. There has been the only contribution that we receive from outside is a fundraiser that is being done by John Molu and Liberians in the US. There's been absolutely no relationship. They don't even know each other. The former vice president of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, is the one who is friend to Joe Baka, but he has made no contribution to our campaign. We've had no emissary to Nigeria. That information is wrong.
Thank you. Mommy, are you done? You
Yeah,
finished?
done.
Okay. So Prince, we'll go to you.
Yeah. So I would like to speak to Liberian people, to the viewers of Spoon TV that are watching. Yesterday, what we saw yesterday was history in the making. That's what we saw yesterday. First, we saw Dr. Moniba come on Spoon TV, that's basically the party leaning, and spoke and took on the opportunity to be publicly scrutinized because he did receive calls, live calls. He spoke highly of his qualification and competence, which is undisputed. He spoke of his focus on policy and vision, which is undisputed. He spoke about the bread and butter issues of Liberia, which we all are fully aware of. And at no point did we say to ourselves, this man does not understand the bread and butter issues of Liberia. At no point did we say to ourselves that this man does not understand how mothers are suffering and kids, children are lacking school fees to go to school, and there is hunger in the land because poverty is at a rampant page. At no point. He spoke on the issue of personal freedom and privacy, which we all cherish on this platform. He spoke of his traditional beliefs. He's protected his traditional belief in Liberia and the traditional beliefs of Liberia, whether it is issue of gay rights all the way to the liberalization policy, making sure the Liberians themselves will grow the economy. He spoke about that. He spoke about the principle of upholding Liberia's democracy, Liberian women pride, Liberia's men protection. He spoke of that. At no point did we disagree with him on those things. His track record is clear on how he served, where he served, and why he served. His achievements are right before our eyes every day. We see it every day in the things we do and how we go about those things that we do. So that's the reason why I won't get into the twists and turns of name calling or childish name calling garbage politics. I won't get into that because that's been resolved. The challenge here now is for the other political party candidates to come on the same platform and go through the same 2 hours, 30 minutes that Dr. Clarence Moniba put himself through so that Liberian people understand who he is. Dr. Moniba has a handsome little son who he cherished very, very much. He's a father. He's a family man. He understands the family unit and what it means in Liberian society. Dr. Moniba cherished women. He loved the Liberian women. He would do anything to protect the honor and pride of Liberian women because he understands that Liberian women are beautiful. They are some of the most brilliant women in the world when given the right opportunity and given the right privileges. He understands that. Dr. Moniba has always been a public servant. He's always served the public. His personal life, of course, is open to scrutiny. At no point did he refute this fact. Dr. Clarence Moniba believes solely in the institution of marriage. And not only that he believes in the institution of marriage, he believes in the customary institution of marriage in Liberia as well. And he protects the value enshrined within that customary practice. But like the Bible said, a man who findeth a wife findeth a good thing. The key operative word in that is findeth. It means finding a wife is a process. So if every one of us sitting here and thinking that if anyone on this platform who understand that principle wouldn't say that this man is somehow left-leaning. Second to that, Dr. Clarence Moniba was not asked a gay question from Mr. Gibson Jeru. He was asked a question of morality. So the question about gayism or lesbianism or whatever you want to call it was asked by our colleague Fadiga, and he answered that question appropriately. He said, and I quote, "As I'm a Liberian and I protect the traditional belief of Liberia and I believe in the traditional belief of Liberia, which means I myself, I would never tolerate gay business. Not in my life or in the life of any Liberian people, because Liberian people do not want it in Liberia, period." I don't know how much should he say that to please anyone. Did he take the knife and cut himself and throw himself on the street to believe that? At no point in his life he ever advocated for such, or has he ever supported any law in such direction, or has he made any such comment supporting such ideology. He's kept to Liberian principle, the Liberian traditional principle, like any other political candidate in this race. So trying to create a wedge in his position is wrong, because his position has been absolutely clear. His position on marriage has been clear. His position on family values has been clear. His position on lesbianism, gay issue has been absolutely clear and in line with our fundamental principles in Liberia. So no garbage politics on those things. If you cannot find something to hold on to when it comes to criticizing Dr. Moniba, don't use such a politics, because it's divisive and it's bad. It's ugly and it's garbage. And we all know that. Now, you can have your personal differences with Dr. Moniba on policy issues. Then I can agree. I can fully agree on those things. So that's just for it. Now we talk about the bigger issue here. What's the bigger issue? The bigger issue here is George Weah. That is why we all pay our time to come on this network, because we need a replacement. And that replacement we know fully well is Dr. Clarence Moniba. You can argue it, you can go to bed with it, you can sleep with it, you can laugh about it. That's just a fact. We all laugh at the fact all the time, and the fact happens. We know George Weah has blundered in so many ways. We know that President Weah thought that Nathaniel Magay was going to protect his image, but it did not happen. Instead, he damaged President Weah's image. President Weah also thought that Samuel Tuer would have made him economically strong by cooking up numbers and proposing crazy policies, pro-poor agenda that could have revitalized Liberia, and did not work. So on these two key areas, George Weah has failed miserably, and many other areas I can talk about. Today we see that President Weah, to even form a cohesive cabinet to move in this political election, is impossible. The people do not want him places that he goes. He no longer has that magnetized effect on Liberian people because now they've seen who he is. That is the reason why we come on this platform every day and we sacrifice our time, as you said, Jeru, to come here every day. Because what is at stake is greater than sitting home and saying, I got something else to do. There are young people that are counting us, and those young people are counting on Dr. Moneyba every day. You go in the chat room, being the young voice is undeniable. No one cannot deny that. You may have your differences in him or how he approached certain things, but there is no denying that he is the leader of the youth now, and he's moving the youth in the presidential position. You cannot deny that. The only person I've been friends with Dr. Moneyba for 10 plus years. And there's one thing I've seen in him: consistency. He's never been proud. He's never been selfish. He's never been mean. He's never been rude. He's never been condescending. He's a Christian man. He reads the Bible. He goes to pastors and asks for spiritual advice, like each and every one of us would do in Liberia. He meets traditional leaders. He speaks to them to understand the wisdom that has been inculcated in our people, the old people that sits in the villages, who say, my son, don't do this because of this reason. And he listened to the parables of the old people. So he's a traditionalist like every one of us. I was simply say, like yesterday, I said, when before Mo Ali came on yesterday, when he said that His Excellency Joseph Yima Bouaga's privacy was violated at the airport. I condemned that violation. Ninu condemned that violation because privacy is important. I could have used the same argument Jerry using here and say, no, come on, move for that. Joseph Yima Bouaga is a public figure. You be seen on cameras, no big deal. The question is, where do you draw the line? I drew the line on the privacy of, despite the fact I disagree, despite the fact we in Little disagree with Joseph Yima, but we drew the line on privacy. It's a same that applies to privacy in every part of your life. Privacy is privacy. Ambassador Dr. Moneyba has been open and clear about who he is. If you want to ask about his marriage, you want to ask about his life, you want to ask about his personal issues, he will answer you. But be respectful of that, because he's giving you personal information about himself and the public. Don't be rude about it. The same thing applies to Joseph Yima Bouaga's airport video. That's his privacy, and we should have respected that. So I've said this in a way where I understand that. I hope that the next candidate that come on, these candidates will be asked the same question. It will be held at the same standard. Thank you.
Thank you, Prince Maxwell. I'm just going to be very brief. I started the show telling you guys that I'm cooking, so that's why.
And I enjoyed my psychology class today. It was so good.
Did you?
I love it. Oh, I love it. I love it.
That's
you have a psychology class and you didn't tell me to? Jerry, you go tell.
I was psychologically impressed.
Who started already? You know, I actually want to speak to the women of Liberia. I want to give you a serious burden and a serious task to bring change to our country. You know, so long we have given a lot of credit to men, and men have, you know, worked in our country in interesting ways, positive and negatively. But I know that women make up a large, almost 50% of the population. And it's a clarion call to you out there that you need to participate in these elections, so that we all can look how to make our country a more deserving place. I agree with Mamith when he talk about a consumer business person sees two lines, basically profit and loss, or sees two, you know, paramount thoughts in their heads. But I actually think that there's inception to some business people that they also have three lines. The likes of Zuckerberg, who always giving money to humanitarian organizations, and also the likes of Bill Gates, who are also giving money to business organizations. I think they have three lines. And I also see the likes of Mr. Cummins, who is also a business person, but in his makeup, he sees three lines as well. And this is why he wants to uh, be president for Liberia. He wants to impact all Liberians in a way where he wants to make Liberia a winner, where you talk about the profit side, and where there are losses in our country, he wants to make us winners in those areas. We understand that there are a lot of losses in our country, loss in our resources, loss in our capacity, human resources, not our physical resources, losses in our capacity, losses in the way that we treat women in our country, losses in our discussion of good things like privacy, you know. But Mr. Cummings wants to definitely make us winners in those areas. A few things he wants to prioritize as a candidate in this race is to at least have 40% of women appropriately, that's a key word, placed in his cabinet. I'm not just saying just put women there for various reasons or personal reasons, but appropriately put women in his cabinet. He also wants to promote women leadership and participation, not just in government, but also in politics, business, and society at large. We want to utilize the strength of women in Liberia. I think it was someone who was appreciating the beauty of Liberian women and the love for Liberian women and the intelligence of a Liberian woman. And so Mr. Cummings is quite aware of that, and he believes that women actually are the backbone of Liberia. He's gonna there's a legislature out there on women parity. He's gonna strengthen that, make sure that it's not just out there, but it has a propensity to encourage women participation in the economy of our country. He talked about in his first couple of days that he will be able to provide loans to our market women, make it easier. And that sometimes, we just think providing or giving a handout is all we need. But he talked about mentoring, making sure that those women are mentored so that they can be able to utilize the loan in an effective way. We know that young girls in Liberia's education system tend to drop off very easily. When you get to high school, the ratio for boys to girls tend to be higher. And so he wants to make sure that for whatever reason, maybe because of teenage pregnancy, which we are now having increasingly a lot of girls in our culture getting pregnant, he wants to make sure that we have fair accessibility to education for those girls who have gotten pregnant, and girls who are in our society. You want to promote healthcare because you know that the physical makeup of girls and women are very different than you guys. You don't need to see a gynecologist all the time. We do as women. We need to have special healthcare prioritized for us. And he also wants to work with making sure that young women understand that women have been the backbone of society and they themselves can be models for good behavior, good standing women in society. So at that note, I'm gonna just encourage women when October 10th come, please come out and vote for Mr. Cummings so that we can put our country on the right direction. Don't listen to all the hype right now. Oh, we this, that, we're on the train, we're going with popularity, with likability. Popularity and likability is not what our country needs right now. We had that in the past. We need someone who can do the job, who can change. We need opportunities to be able to grow our country. When you give me opportunity, I can like you later or love you later, and you can become popular later. I can join your train later. But at this point, we need someone who can do the job. Thank you and good night. And I wish you guys were around so you can eat some of my okra sauce I'm cooking right now. So I'll see you later. Bye bye.
Thank you very much, and bye bye, guys.
Bye bye.
Yeah, so We want to say thank you to you out there for following this edition of the program Spoon Talk. Thanks to all of you for following, for watching. Thanks to those of you who made their contributions in the comment section. We appreciate you for joining us tonight. You can join us again tomorrow for another great show. Of course, the team will be here again, and it's going to be another exciting, very fascinating show coming up for you tomorrow. That's 8 p.m. Liberian time, and of course, 4 p.m. Eastern time, and different time zones across the world. We want to say thanks a lot. You can join us tonight also, that is if you can, for the late night show, the late night politics on Spoon. It's going to be at 1 a.m. Liberian time, and so you can join us as well. That's in about an hour from now. We're going to be coming back here shortly, but until then, have for yourselves a good night. Of course, remember, Liberia is all we have, and so let's keep the peace. Let's keep the peace. Bye-bye for now.
Yes, I, a special one from the CEO, stand coming with the spoon. And your boy, Friday the Southern Band, charges on the beat.